I'm a goddess with a blaze 소리쳐봐 나 이름 잊지 못하게 loud 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 I could take you to the top 절대 멈추지 못해 내가 끝내주는 bag yeah 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 And when I start to talk that oh you know how to react I'ma picture perfect face with the wild in my veins you can hear it in my growl 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 So keep your eyes on me now 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여 I'm troubling you running it I'm so cold When I move that way you gon' be so blown I'm the realest in the game Said I'm on fire with the blade You're about to hear my name ringing in your head like whoa So keep your eyes on me now 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야 We so tough Let's get it show you out Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try
Hello.
Hello, I'm Daydream, as you all know. Beanie is sick today, so I've brought in TF Blade himself,
I
Ravens man,
am
here.
here to take over for the big nose himself. I hope he feels better, especially since we have a game tomorrow. Uh, hopefully, I don't see any Aurelia's pick. Well, she's not too bad right now, so I have 1.14 million points on Aurelia. I'll have you know, it's very famous. So, looking forward to some games tonight. We've got the 1-0 Exodus clan, I believe, versus the 0-1 Start Gaming. Exodus clan came out really, really hot last week, putting up some pretty good numbers when I'm looking at them on the stat sheet here. You've got really good performances coming out from Southern Warrior, Honey Badger, and Zalcon. I think, yeah, we don't have Zalcon tonight, but Southern Warrior and Honey Badger are here tonight. Um, so hopefully we can see a repeat performance out of them. A bit of a jungle change coming out from Start Gaming. They used a different jungler this week. Last week, this week they'll be using Zolo Bomber, who was on their sub list. Very good friend of mine. I think I've known him for 4 years, so I look forward to casting him.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry for
shout out.
Zolo Bummer.
Yeah, nah, he's gonna get the harsh treatment tonight, isn't he? But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to some good League of Legends. So hopefully they'll provide it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. We see Axis clans sort of working with a bit of a different roster, a few subs, few e-subs in here. We do note that both teams are using e-subs and have agreed to do a bit of a handshake for the ban loss. So even though there are e-subs on stream, we will in fact have, full 5 bans for each side. So just a little bit of a clarification note there. So running through the rosters for the side of Exodus Clan, we have Hayam Snam in the top lane, Crimson VKC in the jungle, Hex, also famously known as Prot in the mid lane, Southern Warrior 80 carry, and Honey Badger 525 in the support role. For the side of Start Gaming, we have Captain Cheese Swiss in the top lane, Solo Bomber in the jungle, Kai Awesome in the mid lane, Spectral 650 in the AD carry position, and Galley. I just call him Galley because I never know how to pronounce his name. Ravens fan, can you help me out here?
I have no idea. It's in reference to an actor, and I've never ever been able to pronounce it. So I have no idea. I'm gonna take a stab at it and say Galifianakis, and I think that's right, but I'm never
That
gonna be able to
sounds
say
right.
that. So okay, Vornos. So
Yeah.
it's good enough. Yeah, he's an actor, so I mean, I'm sure you've heard it somewhere. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
he's famous.
Yeah, he's famous somehow. I don't remember where from though. He's in a lot of
Not of
movies.
course not as famous as the legendary Start Gaming support or sub support Galifianakis. Well, playing today, of course. You can't ever match up to
No,
that.
you can't match him. So, um, but yeah, so looking forward to some games. Hopefully, I was high on Spectral 650 last season. Um, for the draft, he was the first overall pick last season in the LAS draft. I still remember that. Kind of faltered in his first season at Legends, but we'll have to wait and see if he can pick it back up in this pre-made team that Calcep Jr.'s put together and is coaching. Um, I really do look forward, and I'm hoping with a name like Calcep Jr. that he'll let my boy Zolo get his Master Yi tonight. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. It's just never really a good competitive pick, so I feel like I'm not even like leaking stuff in any way, shape, or form. So I highly doubt we'll see it, but I'll be very happy if we do end up seeing it. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, Zolo Bomber, sort of the Master Yi protege of the legendary former LAS player, Cowstep Jr., since has
Yes.
graduated from the league, taking a coaching role, hoping to send these 5 young gold players on their way to their first LAS Premade championship.
Yeah, and I don't know if we have time for it right now, but I'll shoot off a quick anecdotal story about Zola Bomber. I was playing in a league 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. I can't remember. when I first met Zolo, and we brought him in. He was on our sub roster for playoffs against a previously undefeated team. They didn't lose a single game in the entire season. But we brought him in, and game 1 we won miraculously on a strategy I came up with. And then game 2 we just said, Zolo, we're putting you on Yi. And he hard carried the game, got a pentakill, and we won. I was just so happy, and he never lets me forget that he did that against a team of Smurfs, I later found out as well. Oh,
I had to
but
explain the whole 8-0 thing.
yeah, no, they were insane. So it was a good time.
Right. Just getting confirmation from the teams that we will be getting into draft in a second.
Oh, yep, there we go.
There we go. Let's see. So let's see what's happening. Oh no.
Oh, they
Exodus
heard
Clan
me.
has banned the Master Yi.
They heard
Ravensman
me,
has
man.
single-handedly destroyed Stars Game again. Nah, I'm just messing with you. The Master Yi definitely, like, while he isn't known for his competitive prowess, he is very, like, hard to play against. He can warp, both draft strategies, and sometimes if your team hasn't practiced against it, it's good to just take that away.
Yeah, it's a really good team wrecker if you don't have the CC built around it to shut down the pick, and playing around it can be sorry, difficult at times. Sorry, I had a Discord noise. But just opting to get rid of it. I mean, you look at Zolo Bomber; he's got some crazy mastery points on it. So better to get rid of it. We see Mordekaiser and Thresh being rounded out here from Ex's clan as the bans. I don't really agree with the Mordekaiser pick or ban, but it's fallen out of meta. We see Thresh, Volibear, Morgana, Trist gone from Start Gaming. But let's move on to these picks because they're more important anyway.
Ooh, we got
Yeah,
the Viego first pick from Exodus Clan. Notoriously good in the jungle, but we see Zinthao locked in, so that is not going to be a Viego jungle. Oh.
No, not at all. Something I wanna touch on here is this Amumu that's been picked up because we've seen Viego and Zin in the meta forever. Let's talk about Amumu. He got this great change that suddenly brought him back into this meta into the meta where it's literally just he has 2 charges on his Q now, and I've seen it paired with the likes of Ziggs in the bot lane for amplifying the magic damage. I've seen it thrown in the jungle because he's safer farming because he has his early game CC tool up pretty much at all times. So I mean, it's crazy how that small of a change really catapulted him into like a good meta state. We also see Set coming out on the other end, another flex pick. Like Start's got some pretty good flex picks in hand. But over in Exodus, like we said, the Viego, the Zinzhao, really good skirmishers, duelers, and you got Senna to keep them alive in these skirmishes with the ult and the heal. I really do like this core 3 that Exodus clan has put together here. It just really shows that they want to skirmish around these objectives. They want to fight pretty much at all times in the early game and try and snowball out of control.
Yeah. Namely, like these picks, I mean, you talked about the Amumu support. Start Gaming did lock in the Lulu, so given the fact that, I mean, unless we're seeing some Amumu soloing shenanigans, I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's an Amumu jungle. Senna can be flexed into the I guess, quote-unquote ADC role. I still think fasting Senna is very strong, but Senna is going to be one of the 2 bot lane positions. You have to assume Viego is going to be in a solo lane. I do not think that they're going to pull the Daydreamer Butter special of putting Viego in the ADC role.
God.
If they do, they are going up like to the top of my power rankings, but we see 80 carry bans coming out from both sides, 1 ADC and 1 mid ban. Start Gaming locking in the Ashe. Good bit of CC on Start Gaming. They have this Set CC, a Mumu CC, coupled now with the Ashe. So
yeah.
You would actually respond with.
As far as Start Gaming goes, they're definitely looking for some sort of hyper carry mid laner though, because you've got this, Set. Obviously, full HP Set will blow up an entire team, but it's not the true carry. You've got a Mumu, not the true carry. Ashe really can't carry too hard. Although paired with a Lulu, you can make an argument, but really looking for a lot of damage to come out in this next mid pick for Start Gaming, but Syndra's there to shut down, or at least take control of any mid matchup she can, and a really good setup tool for the Xin Zhao to gank whatever pick that Start Gaming comes out with.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd
Syndra's
almost...
in 2v2
Sorry.
is... Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
We see the last pick for Exodus Clan. Seems like it has not gone through. It is Samira.
Samira. Okay.
How do you feel about Samira Senaba? Is the Nico locked in for high awesome? You have to assume in the mid lane.
Yeah, I really don't like the Samira pick here. I think it makes no sense. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I mean, like, you're picking Samira into Ashe Lulu. That's like asking to get your toenails ripped out. But I mean, it definitely fits with this wanting to skirmish early, wanting to fight around every objectives, getting that priority. But like, Ashe has 100 more range than you, or 75. She's 625. 75 more range than you. Lulu is very good at poking. And Senna heal really isn't good until you hit like level 5, level 7. Is when it really starts to heal for a lot. So I'm really not too sure if I like this Samira pick. It really comes down to if Start Gaming can punish that Samira pick, because I'm not the biggest fan of it. That's like the only thing I can say. It fits with what they want to do with the skirmishing, but I feel like it's really going to get destroyed by the Ashe Lulu. But remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, I look at X's Clan's comp, and I've played Samira is my second most played in solo queue right now, and when I queue into Champion Select and I think of like, do I want to play a Samira this game? I'm looking for, big CC on my team, not a lot of CC on the enemy team, so that I am not, constantly canceled out of my ult. And it doesn't look like we have either of those. The setup CC for Exodus Clan is at most like Senna W, Syndra Stun, and a Viego W, maybe Xin Zhao Q as well, but those are like, that's not what you need as a Samira.
And then you see over on Start, you've got so many just point and click abilities to just shut her down instantly.
A Mumu R, Set E, like
Set
Samira
R
W
as well.
Samira W can block like Ashe Arrow, a Mumu Q, Nico E. But there's still so much more CC, and all those three abilities aren't going to come out at the same time. So if Start Gaming play their comps right, they don't like mess up the layering on their CC, then it is going to be very hard for the Samira to play the game. However, you have Xin Zhao Syndra into a Mumu Nico, so you have a winning mid jungle matchup.
Yes.
Early game, Exodus Clan really going to be able to take over the mid jungle. Hopefully that will, be what is needed to get the rest of the map snowballed. I'm just looking to see win cons. I mean, Viego top into Set, I feel like that should be a fairly easy lane for Set after the Viego nerfs. However, you do have to consider that Viego is a champion that was designed fairly recently, and if you let Viego reset in a fight, even if he doesn't have the strongest lane phase, he can turn around games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, something we didn't highlight when we were talking about Samira, and this applies for both Xin Zhao and Viego as well, is this Lulu polymorph, which can really shut down. I mean, if Viego starts to reset and Lulu's still alive, holding polymorph for Viego or holding polymorph for Xin, I would much prefer her holding it for the Viego personally, just because it can really take over the fight. But I mean, it's something that can shut down the momentum of a fight on Exodus Clan's side very easily. And I used to talk about circles a lot when I started casting, and we've got two right here. We've got two huge circles. We've got a Amumu layered on top of a Nico ult. And if Amumu goes first, you got the Amumu passive that amplifies magic damage. So I'm like really hyped about this because I think it's a really good synergy if they can get it going. But obviously, Xin Zhao Syndra is going to, on paper, destroy them if they ever get into a 2v2 scenario. Well, we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. I really do expect there to be a lot of pressure in the top side and the bot side for Start Gaming, but the mid lane might be a little bit more rough when it comes to that.
Yeah, R5 picking Nico here. You were talking before the pick was locked in. You wanted to see like an AP hyper carry, or
Yeah.
honestly, even like a physical damage hyper carry wouldn't have been horrible here. As what side of Mumu has magic damage. Nico was not what I was thinking of when I was thinking of a pick that would really cap off the comp of Start Gaming. Feels like they had really strong building blocks for, the first four, and then, I'm a little like less excited about this Nico pick.
Yeah. No, me too.
I feel like you already have enough like, AoE CC with the set, the Amumu, the Ashe. I feel like you're just like putting, too much of it in, and your sort of team comp is lacking in other ways.
Yeah, and I
Feels
mean,
like-
I'm looking through High Awesome's match history, and there was a really good ban of the Orianna, but I'm really surprised that Start Gaming banned the Ryze. I mean, Ryze is a really good setup mid laner, just like Exodus Clan, but you could have, in theory, insta-locked the Ryze coming out of like the ban phase. That wasn't really an issue. But they chose to ban it. You end up with this Nico pick, and yeah, you can end up with a little low damage when it comes to Start Gaming side. But we'll have to wait and see how they pilot it. Maybe Nico is this amazing pick that we're not thinking of certain things, or
You know what we're not
maybe-
thinking of? We're not thinking
What
of the AD attack speed Nico mid. That's what.
Oh
we're not
yes,
thinking of.
that's what we're
That's
not
the
thinking of.
solution. That's what
That's
we
my-
miss.
It's my favorite build, all time. One of my favorite builds. I used to run attack speed Nico in the bot lane all the time.
Fun fact, attack speed Nico is actually bad right now because Nico's W passive is bugged with Gwynthoo's Rage Blade. After you trigger it twice, it just doesn't work for the rest of the game. So
That's
maybe
so
it's
messed
not the best move here.
That was actually, sorry to get back to this anecdotal, when Zolo Bomber and I played in that game where he got the pentakill on Master Yi, I was playing attack speed Nico. Funnily enough. The good old bring it back. Yeah, I highly doubt that'll come out. Although I do think there's this like niche scenario where like Wit's End could be a rush into certain mages on Nico.
Yeah,
with,
but
like a hail of
Wit's End
blades.
into like Viego, Zin, Senna, Samira
Oh well, yeah.
was really bad.
I meant if it was, maybe like a double mage, like a Diana Syndra would be terrible.
Yeah.
If you ran, or not terrible. It would be good if you ran Wit's End of that. But besides the point, I'm rambling. Looking for this Ashe and Lulu to really pressure on this Samira. Although I really don't think she's the like end all be all for Exodus Clan's comp. Like I think it's more gonna end up being around this Viego and the Zin. And by and large, Syndra being able to set up ganks for the Zin and being able to keep that mid pressure so Zin can kind of do what he wants throughout the entire game. Or at least the early laning phase, which is where he's really gonna shine into this Amumu. We'll have to see. I've seen Amumu once since the buffs. I'm really high on him. I think he's like a sleeper pick in the jungle right now. But it really has to come down to some good comps. And I like Start Gaming's comp, I just think it's low damage. And I like Exodus Clan's comp, I just think it has no CC. So it's like, both these comps
Yeah.
are kind of missing like really important parts. But I don't know, I've seen low damage comps win, and I've seen no CC comps win, so you never know when it comes to League of Legends. Anything could work, theoretically.
I feel like both teams have got about like equal strength drafts. They have like stuff that they're really good at and stuff that the drafts are certainly lacking. But when you put two equal drafts up against each other, then it becomes all about execution.
Yeah, no, that's like the biggest thing to drive home when it comes to amateur League of Legends, is it all at the end of the day comes down to execution. You could draft diff your enemy to the moon and back, and it would mean absolutely nothing if you don't execute on your win cons, your power spikes, all that stuff is the most important part of the game. And if you miss that, then you're just not playing properly. So
Yep. All right, but we will be going to a quick break as we load onto Summoner's Rift. Me and TF Blade over here will catch you on the flip side. Game of the day. We are joined, on the lovely Summoner's Rift as we see these 10 champions getting ready to give us some great League of Legends content. Now let us
Absolutely.
look at the level ones. Looks like both teams are 5-pointing. No spicy invades with the Amumu Q. I definitely think like Amumu Q as an ability because it has 2 charges, so powerful on the invade. Because if you miss, like most of your solo Q teammates normally will, you can just try again in 3 seconds.
You just get a do-over button.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of happy we're not seeing anything super crazy coming out here. We
Oh,
see Crimson tanking a tower shot.
hmm. Think it's a bit of a power move trying to assert his
Ah,
dominance over start gaming, if I had to guess.
if is there some like hidden interaction where he gets more like a healing, or it's not like an Olaf situation? Like I'm really confused by that. But anyways, moving on from that. He's doing his best Olaf impression. That's what we'll chalk it up to.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so
gonna
I
go with the
know
psychological warfare explanation, but you do
psychological
you.
warfare also, yeah. But yeah, as you pointed out when we were off break, we do see pretty normal runes coming out from everybody. The Conqueror Amumu has been rising in addition to this, with him rising up, having 2 charges on his Q, he can stick to his target longer and stack it up longer.
Makes sense because you need like damage in this comp. You can't go after shock. You don't need more tank stats.
Yeah, I would really love to see Zolo Bomber pick up a Dark Seal on his first back. It would be just a really good move to see. I mean, it's always worth it, even if you have just tiny MR scalings to MR, sorry, magic damage scalings to just quickly grab that Dark Seal, because you can, get some free stats just for impacting the map, and it's really only 350 gold. The value of it has gone down. I think they nerfed it, I want to say like 5 patches ago, but in my opinion, the worth is still there for ability power tanks. I mean, like Zac is a good champion to pick on, and Amumu falls in the same category. But we see pretty normal pathing except for Zolo
Ooh.
Bomber.
Solo Bomber in the mid lane bush. If you look at your minimap, meanwhile in the bot lane, Galifianakis getting a good trade onto Honey Badger. Senna, but Hayasum goes in, misses the E though. Hex is in a bit of a bad spot. Takes the Mumu Q, flashes away. Is that going to be enough? The EQ hits the stun onto two people. Hex on the mid lane burns his flash, but does make it away from the Amumu gank. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Hayam Snam level 3 over Cheese Swiss is level 2. As Viego is getting the better of the set in the early game portion of this matchup. We see trades coming in. Set just sort of unable to respond. Ooh, Crimson VKC, meanwhile, looking on the mid lane. Not gonna, go for it. He is spotted out, but he is popping the blast cone. He does see Zolo Bomber. You saw that little ping that went down on the map. That was from the Scryer's Bloom, rather. Cone.
Uh,
But
I really would love to see Zolo Bomber go towards his spot scuttle right now instead of going for his red buff, but looks like he is going to go for the red. No, he's walking around. I really would love to see him just accept defeat on this scuttle crab and move toward that bot scuttle, but he is going to start up his red buff and then probably his Krugs after and hit a reset.
yeah.
His bot lane just has so much pressure right now.
Oh, you see Galifianakis
Oh,
getting rooted
speaking
up
of
with the
which,
trade coming down, forces the heal from Southern Warrior. You see, yeah,
yeah,
that's a good trade. It looked kind of bad for Gally at the start of it, but you know, that's sort of the problem with Samira Senna. Like your champions don't really interact in a way that can help you win trades.
yeah, and I mean something to note is just the EHP difference. Gally still has a health potion and 2 biscuits to sit on while being a little over half HP. Southern Warrior and Honey Badger have blown both already, and they blew both their Ignite and their heal on that trade. So Spectral and Galley looking for a nice little cheater here, try and capitalize on their, their success in that trade. Maybe keep them under tower and force them to make a bad, back in a mistake. Meanwhile, Zolo Bomber is pathing bot lane. Could potentially see something where he goes Wolves into bot lane. I do know he is a big proponent of ganking bot. I might have hardwired him like that. I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see what his pathing is going to end up being in this game moving forward. We do see Xin Zhao currently, Crimson VKC, doing a pretty standard path. He spent a little time around that mid lane, a little time wasted looking for that gank, and then looking for Zolo Bomber, but got the Scuttle Crab, got down to his bot side, and is now, seems like looking for a reset. I'd love to see some Dragon plays here with the bot lane reset from Exodus Clan. I don't think we will, but it would just warm my heart.
Exodus
But
Clan has like sufficient vision of the Drake pit, and I think it's only like now that Solo Bomber is really trying to get some vision control of the pit. If you want to go for that early dragon, you need to have a bit more control on the vision as well as the lanes. But it looks like they are considering starting it. Yeah, the bot lane's rotating up. Infernal Drake started up, but Exodus Clan, they might be able to figure out that something's going on. Crimson is currently just on the Raptors right now, so it seems like he doesn't know, or he doesn't want to contest it. Solar Bomber picking up the Infernal Dragon as the first dragon of the game, and we see Galley here doing some supportal duties, clearing out some vision.
yeah, it was some really good timing there, just the way that cheater worked out. I don't know how to feel about this early of an Executioner's Calling from Spectral on this Ashe. I know later, we're gonna see this Viego with probably this Blade of the Rune King coming out in the first item. We're gonna see the Gore Drinker, but I think as far as the laning phase goes, you probably didn't need to do it until you hit your Mythic. Of course, I'm kind of nitpicking. It's not the end of the world. So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. I would have liked, I guess, yeah, there's not really much you could have done instead.
I
800
think
gold.
the executioners gets. Oh, we see a fight coming in. I will get on the executioners later. The set W does not hit the true damage part, and Time Snom on this Viego, like champion to champion, set theoretically should at least do fine against Viego, but Hayam Snom on the Viego getting the better of T Swiss in the top lane during this matchup. So good on Hayam Snom for being able to deal with this set. Oh, but the E coming through, is there gonna be another fight? No, just another short trade. I get so excited to see these top laners go at it, and they just walk away, just willing to handshake CS, as top laners sometimes do.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why it seems like Set isn't doing so well is he kind of got a bad shake on his first couple waves, which is why we see such a CS differential here. Doing a really good job keeping us in front of his tower though for the time being, trying to soak up as much XP and farm as he can. The good thing is is the XP part. He's staying in line with this Viego in terms of XP and is creating a slow push coming in. We'll have to wait and see if he can capitalize on this, but we do see Xin currently taking the Rift Herald, so we'll have to see if Cheese Swiss will end up in a little bit of danger here.
Yeah, Cheese Swiss sort of being forced to play weak side, as High Awesome is sort of going even against Hex, and Vectral and Galley are having the better of the matchup. It seems that, we talked about the strong mid jungle from EXO clan. Meanwhile, though, gank coming in, Prot's gonna get flashed away. You see the Amumu Q didn't hit, and they took so long, for that repeat gank that Hex's flash was still up. In the top lane, though, maybe there will be a fight that results in some blood. No, it looks like Cheese Swiss just taking the losing end of that trade as Haim Snom just desperately tries to crash this wave into this tower.
Yeah, he really is trying. We see Xin actually going to steal away Zola Bomber's red buff right now. And I think Zola Bomber is going to find him in a second here. But
Yeah,
I really
does
don't think he
Amumu
can
win
find him.
this?
Oh,
Oh, Solomomber
like
just walking
ships
away,
in the
maybe
night.
looking, making his way to the top lane, trying to relieve this set from the Viego pressure, but he's walking back. Crimson's in the bush, dodges the sweeper. Oh, Zolo Bomber, your red buff is not there as Crimson goes in with the audacious charge. The Dawning Shadow from Senna is enough to get the shield. Will the flash away be enough for Zolo Bomber? But Hayam Stom goes in with the Heartbreaker. The ultimate comes through. Red buff burn will be enough. The root from High Awesome saves Zolo Bomber's life. Suddenly, Exodus clan are on the wrong side of this fight. Cheese Swiss gets the punch. First blood
Oh
goes to
my.
High Awesome, and that is 2-0 on the side of Start Gaming.
That was such a good collapse coming in from High Awesome and Cheese Swiss. Really respecting the fact that Zola Bomber needed help and just saying, who needs CS? Doing a really good job getting up there and securing both kills without Zola Bomber going down.
Yeah, but Southern Warrior going in, he has the ultimate, but the Ashe ultimate is not blocked. The Samira W doesn't really do anything, and suddenly the trade is going to the side of Start Gaming. That's going to be a flash forward from Spectral. Is that going to be a kill? The Senna W should be enough to save Southern Warrior. In the mid lane, Hex getting the ultimate through. That is a solo kill. Prot's team ambition, bringing his skills not just as a manager, but as a mid laner. We see that it's a 1-for-1 overall, play in the bot side for play in the mid lane, but both of those plays are just laners, out mechanicking their, is that a word? Mechanically outplaying their
Yeah, there you go.
competition.
Yeah, no, that was definitely on, everybody. Obviously, Hex, pressing the skill button, whatever, but getting that solo kill on the High Awesome, very good timing, really moves the momentum back into a more favorable position because, if this was 0-3 right now, you'd start to feel really like you have to make a forced play on Exodus' side, especially since I do think despite having low damage, the scaling is a little bit more on their side. You've got the set with the true damage is always going to be more valuable than any sort of physical or magical damage. And Ashe does pair very well with Lulu. Obviously not as well as like a Kog'Maw or, a Jinx, but they do pair very well together. So I like the scaling a little better despite it being low damage, but, if not for that solo kill in the mid lane, you'd probably start to worry you're going to fall behind and make some rash decision that's not going to end well. But we see the pace slowing down a little. Zola Bomber starting up the second dragon, looking to shoot this down while we saw Xin path topside try to look for a gank on the set.
Yeah, Solo Bomber recognizing that Xin most likely won't be able to contest this. It's smited away. Looks for the Q over the wall, looking for maybe a donation of a kill, but Start Gaming are very happy with this dragon. Meanwhile, we got trades.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
but there is a lot of people here. Hex and Crimson coming in, looking to get the kill onto Cheese Swiss. The set ultimate isn't enough. The W, though, that's a lot of damage. Will he use the trade? No, but he does force out the Senna ult. And honestly, if you're Cheese Swiss, that's about as good of a fight as you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, when he thought that was a 1v1 versus Viego, and then the Goon Squad showed up, and he kind of got a little nervous. But he did the best he could. I honestly thought he was going to take the Xin Zhao with him. So close on that return kill, but, you know, Exodus Clan playing it about as good as they can, considering it's a 3v1. Getting that set down, getting all these turret plates to go over to the Xin and the Viego. Really good play, really good proactive play.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane,
answering.
Where's the Ash Arrow going? It's not even blocked by the Samira W, but Solo Bomber suddenly in a bad spot. The Amumu ult, though, is that going to be a trade? That is going to be a trade kill for Solo Bomber, making the best out of a bad situation. But, Hex with the TP does give up maybe a plate or two, but that's probably a net positive play for the side of Exodus Clan.
Yeah, I definitely think it is. Especially since Crimson VKC was clearing Solo Bomber's Krugs because of that. And he's got a whole bot and top side to clear for that, in addition to this Scuttle Crab coming up. So he should rocket ahead here. Despite being down 12 CS, so 3 camps, he's still got 5, 6 if you count the Scuttle Crab. Although we do see a ping coming down from Start Gaming that they want this Scuttle Crab.
Solo Bomber has been playing this entire game to the bot side. He has left Cheese Swiss on an island, constantly, even just with the vision, walking down to bot river to help Galley get, control in. That has resulted in 2 dragons. However, that's still not Soul. That's a good way to get to Soul, but if you, spend your entire early game getting dragons and suddenly you're too weak to contest the next 4, all of your efforts have pretty much gone to waste.
Exactly, and we saw on my way pings from Crimson VKC come out on the exact path he wants to do right now, which was Krug's red rafters, and then he wants to go over to this Rift Herald that just spawned. So he's definitely looking to grab this Herald before this 3rd dragon, which usually is a sign that they want to, you want to fight as hard as possible for the dragon, placing the Herald for as much pressure in a lane as you can get. So if they make this play for it, which I think they should, because Viego is so much stronger than Set, and Xin and Syndra should win that 2v2 and 3v3 if you count in the Viego and the Set. They're moving over to it now. Syndra getting this mid pressure for it. So a good call, but Zolo is here to answer this play.
Can Zolo get the steal? This is going to be, like you said, a 3v3. Both bot lanes not really in the position to impact the map. Senna ult should be up, as well as Akira, but Solo Bomber goes in, gets the Q onto Viego, but there is not going to be any follow-up. Solo Bomber just gets the Q and walks away. Both teams don't want to pull the trigger completely yet. Prot's fishing for a stun, hits it onto Cheese Swiss. We see... Yeah, the fight's just going to dissipate. Exodus Clan going back onto the Rift Herald. Well, we see it might start fizzling up again. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Spectral 650 able to shove the wave in using the power of the Ashe Volley. Maybe this fight goes long enough. This bot lane of Start Gaming can force, a roam. We see Start Gaming also pushing Exodus Clan off of the Rift Herald. Sort of being a bit of an intimidation force, as nothing really happens in the play, but because
sorry, go ahead.
Because Start Gaming was able to get the bot lane shove while the top sides were sort of having fun in the river, that is very slightly Start Gaming favored, because now Spectral and Galley can go back, get a reset, prepare for this dragon more efficiently than the side of Exodus Clan can.
Yeah, no, I really like the fact that Start Gaming didn't fully commit to that play. You could tell that Crimson and Hayam Snom did not want to fully commit to that play either. And the fact that they just kind of toyed around with the idea was such a better move on Start Gaming's part, because it feels like Exodus Clan kind of needed that Rift Herald to secure this, and now you're coming in with this full 4v4 skirmish that with this Amumu
Oh,
Nico
High
combo.
Awesome gets the two-man root. He's gonna walk away, but forces the Xin Zhao ult crucially and gets some good damage. However, on the side
Oh.
start gaming. Oh, the ult onto Senna. She is gonna go down before the Dawning Shadow comes down. Crimson on the Xin Zhao will be the next to fall. Smite comes through, but it's Dragon secured by Protz's EQ. However, the fight is going in the way of Start Gaming. Galley gets very low from the Syndra Dark Sphere rather, but will not go down. Zolo Bomber hits the Q, forces the flash from Hex.
Oh.
The Mumu ult is not enough. The Everfrost crucially doesn't hit the root, only hits the slow. Spectral and Cheese just want to pick up this Viego, but the Heartbreaker is enough using the Unstoppable to dash away.
Yeah, overall, it looked so good for start, but they just couldn't burst down Crimson fast enough, and he got the smite off, which I think took Zolo Bomber off guard, and Hex ended up picking it up with a WQ from that Syndra. So it looked really good for start, but unfortunately, they didn't get the dragon, and I feel like they didn't get enough members to make it feel like it was worth. So kind of more ended up being an even trade. And I honestly don't know if we'll end up seeing this Rift Herald actually go down before the Baron spawns. So I don't know, kind of just a really good stall coming out from Exodus Clan, especially given the fact that it looked so good for Start Gaming at the start there. Hi, I'm awesome, flashing into the pit, killing the Senna, taking Crimson VKC down really low, but they couldn't kill him fast enough. The heal from the Smite came in, the heal from the Gore Drinker came in, it just wasn't enough, and Exodus Clan get to stop this Ocean Drake stacking and start their own stacking, but
We see
contrary
the
to
Rift
what
Herald.
what I said, they're starting the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it looks like Start Gaming think that they are strong enough to win the fight, and I honestly might be inclined to agree. Hi, Awesome doing
Amumu ult.
some zoning. Oh, where the Smite goes down, Set ulted onto the Viego. He's gonna be CC. The Viego ult isn't enough. Hi, Awesome gets the kill onto Syndra, but crucially able to trade back onto Spectral's Ashe. However, it is a 4v1 as the bot lane of Exodus Clan are just going to shove the wave. That is 2 kills and believe a Rift Herald?
Yeah, Zolo Bomber's got the
Solo
Rift Herald
Bomber
right now.
did pick it up. That is going to be traded for what I assume is the bot shove and maybe even bot tower. It would not be the first tower of the game, but it would be instrumental in getting the bot lane of Exodus Clan back into this game.
Yeah, although I must say, getting this pressure, although they are looking for a wraparound onto Viego here.
Oh, we see the Rift Herald. That's going to crash and kill the tower. Stom misses the Viego W, but crucially, Zolo Bomber isn't ready to commit there. His team is too far away. Awesome. Not going to go for the last auto attack to get the mid tower, respecting Crimson on the Xin Zhao and the threat of Hex on the Syndra. We see the Rift Herald going to get another charge into the top inner, and we see a bit of a gold league being built up by Start Gaming.
Yeah, something crucial that really happened in that last fight around the Rift Herald was Spectral died, which, if he didn't die, I think Start Gaming could have instantly turned onto that Baron as soon as it spawned and burned it down. Oh my god. Alright, you know what? Style points. Mental Warfare.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Yeah. But really good pick there. I was not expecting that damage coming out, literally out of nowhere. I always forget that Nico can really just burst you down out of nowhere.
Yeah, especially when Nico has a lot of gold. Awesome is 5, 1, and 2 currently on this Nico. Like, I was talking about how Nico isn't like a hyper carry champion. If you get like 5 kills, yeah, no, you can
Yeah.
even with the Everfrost, you're just gonna be so far ahead of the curve that it does not matter. Going back to the point
actually,
about Syndra.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to point out real quick on your point about the gold. High Awesome is actually 1,500 gold above the next highest gold in the game. So really is the carry threat on Start Gaming right now. Like you said, 5 kills, 5, 1, and 2 on this Nico.
Oh, and he might get another pick. However, Ashel goes wide. We see the Xin Zhao all popped, but Crimson is very, very alone. We see T-Swiss getting the face breaker, forces the flash from Crimson. Looks like the play is going to dissipate. They don't have Zolo Bomber there to, stop, Crimson from just walking away. But Xin Zhao flash, Xin Zhao ult is going to be a bit of a, important cooldown, especially as this Ocean Dragon is coming up soon.
Yeah, but I do think he's going to have it up. there is actually only 20 seconds left on it. It will be down, but we see Galley taking a really, really late back here. Probably going to end up being, certainly going to be late to this Dragon fight. As we see Exodus Clan again taking control over the river before Stark Gaming can get in, despite Stark Gaming having the gold lead. Although we do see the TP coming out from set, we're definitely going to see some action here.
Yeah, Zolo Bomber forces the flash from Honey Badger. Hayam Stam gets the stun. There's going to be a lot of damage with the 4-mana Mumu ult into the settle. Hayam Stam is the first one to go down. The Nico ult 2 will crash. Samira goes down. Spectral picks 2 kills on the back, and the Syndra ult crucially isn't enough to pick up the shutdown. That is a clean ace. 5 for 0 on the side of Start Gaming, and that is the type of team fight you want.
And I really want them to go do Baron. I don't know why they're not. There's still 15 seconds on the first timer. You've got Amumu, you had Nico, TP, but instead they're going to get this mid-pressure. I don't agree with the play. Okay, they are going to it really late, though. You've got TPs on the Viego, on Hex in the mid lane. Okay, they're calling back now. They realize it's too late. I appreciate the hesitancy. It really shows a respect for your enemy, but I really would have loved to see them pull the trigger on that Baron play right after that.
I mean, that Baron's free, right?
That Baron is definitely
that,
free
right?
there. Yes, we can definitely both agree on that, but, you know, there isn't anything wrong with playing the game slow, especially when, like I was talking about earlier, I definitely feel like they have the better scaling team comp. They just have to make sure that they keep control over this Baron pit, because I do think with this Viego, with the Black Cleaver, Blade of the Rune King, and the Xin Zhao, and, you know, the Senna heals, they could potentially burn it down, which they are, yeah.
Starting up the Baron, Chi-Swiss on the set has no TP, but will, you know, they will be able to win the fight. The Ashel comes down, hits Hayam Stomp, but there's not enough follow-up. You know, the Ashel fired too early. Hex on the Syndra is full health, and very, very scary. However, he's getting burned down by the Baron. This Ash poke is too much. They're going to force Exodus Clan off of the Baron. Chi-Swiss will be able to crash the wave in, not punished for not having TP. And, you know, Exodus Clan is sort of just forced to walk away. They can't really do anything.
And I mean this, and I'm going to say something, and I mean it in the absolute nicest way that there is. Start Gaming is currently failing upward on a lot of their plays. Like, it feels like they're late to things, but it ends up working out somehow. We saw it at the Dragon Pit, we saw it at the Rift Herald, and we're seeing it again at this Baron Pit, dissuading Exodus Clan. So, it's really just funny to me that they're succeeding in these plays so late to them, which isn't, you know, I'm not trying to like make fun of them in any way. It's just amusing to see a little bit, but definitely something to say that they're making these plays work. They're getting good Amumu ults, good Nico ults, getting good initiations with the Ash arrows. They're playing them right. They just need to get to objectives a little sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely agree with your point about the dragon fights. However, I feel like for that Baron, I do agree that you probably could have sent the set mid, because set didn't have TP and High Awesome on the Nico did. However, I feel like that Baron from Exodus Clan just never like works, right? Your team, like, best case scenario, you get the Baron. I feel like it's sort of disrespectful to assume the enemy team is just not gonna check it for that long. So I feel like best case scenario, you get the Baron, you have no tank, so your team is super low, and then you get aced again.
Yeah.
So feels like a bit of a desperation play, if you ask me.
Yeah, I feel like that's really what it was. And I mean, in a world where they do get the Baron without, with Start Gaming disrespecting them and not checking or something along those lines is obviously best case scenario, but I don't think it brings them like super far back into this game. I mean, I'm going to take a look at the items. I mean, we don't even have a Mythic yet on the Viego. We don't have a Mythic on the Senna. Like, that's 2 Mythic-less champions 27 minutes into the game. Meanwhile, we've got almost 2 items on the set. We've got 2 items on the Amumu. Almost 3 items on High Awesome. 2.5 items on Spectral. And 1.5 on Galley, but that's expected for support. So, I mean, yeah, it would hopefully stall out the game enough to where you could get to a semi-even standpoint for, like, this Dragon that's going to come up and be Soul Point, or they're at Soul Point, would be Soul for Start Gaming, but we'll have to wait and see how they set up for it. I really want to see them start recalling now. If you're going to recall, you need to recall at least a minute in advance for a Dragon Pit. We saw Galley do it. I'm really hoping Zola Bomber does not reset after placing that ward.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, at this point,
Oh!
you sort of... Oh, the ult gets in, but the Cinder EQ is enough. The Zanyas is enough to dodge. We see Xin Zhao getting picked off. Spectral with the shield bow, and the Lulu is going to survive. However, High Awesome in a bit of a bad situation, but a huge stopwatch to stall. Solo Bomber goes in. The Nico ult is enough to save High Awesome. It looks like it's just going to be another one fight for the side of Start Gaming. Meanwhile, Diego, though. Diego in the back picks up the Ash, but you are squishy. Not getting punched though. The root is enough. The Diego comes through. Will he be able to take out Galley? The flash forward. Hayam Sum on this Diego. Will not get the possess, but ults away instead. Hex and Hayam Snom taking this fight from total disaster into an even 3-for-3. However, Jesus wasn't there. Oh, Zolo Bomber.
Oh.
This is the cue. What are you doing, Zolo? But he does stop the recall. Hayam Sum, sort of caught between a rock and a hard place, but does have the Viego. He, can really get out. I don't expect Solo Bomber to be able to kill. And it seemed like the Dragon, can Solo and TSS take this? I don't think so. I mean, X's clan died first, so they have first respawn. They're all going to run to this Drake. Solo
High
Bomber
Awesome
could
does
just
have
be
TP.
leashing. The
Oh
flash
my-
forward, wow, gets pushed into the team by the Ocean Dragon, but it's too far. Xin Zhao absolutely getting caught. Thought that Zolo was on the dragon and tried to flash for the steal, but Start Gaming just wasn't there yet. And now we see High Awesome on the Nico. Now that there's no jungler, this has to be free soul, right?
I mean, there's a world where I was gonna say where Syndra steals it, but luckily they do get that good smite coming in. Ocean Soul. They should go straight to the Baron here. I don't know why Cheese Swiss is there. We go. Okay.
We see pings.
Woo. Okay.
They're
We're
all
good.
walking. We see the Baron, with the Ocean Soul and with the, effective health pools. Crimson isn't even up right now. You have to think that it's going to be nearly impossible for Exodus.
Yeah, especially with Honey Badger and Hex being bot lane clearing that wave. This is just it should be free. I mean, it is free for Start Gaming. I want to see them all back at the same time and commit to. I honestly think a 1-3-1 would not be terrible here with the champions they have. I think Set is stronger than this Viego right now, despite Viego kind of taking over the back end of that fight. I think Set should beat him now with the items he has now. This Thornmail completed, this Starks completed, and the Gore Drinker to heal up. And I mean, obviously we know how much of a terror this Nico's been. And Spectral having a quietly good game on this Ashe. I've seen some really good Ashe arrows coming in. Obviously the one on Hex ended up resulting in a one fight for Exodus Clan, but it was a really clean initiation out of the Fog of War, utilizing the vision, lack of vision, I should say, that Exodus Clan did have in that area, setting up for that Ocean Dragon. But some really good ults coming out this game, and some good ADC play in general coming out from him.
Yeah, so, I mean, that last fight for Exodus Clan, really good play by Hex and Hayam Stom. That was like a sort of save the game, break your back type of fight, but at the end, that's still one fight, like you still, when you're that far behind, you need to be consistently, having your team, make plays like that. And we can see, with the Baron and the Ocean Soul, this game becomes infinitely more hard for the side of Exodus Clan. I mean, at this point in the game, your team comp is so squishy, one misstep into the CC of Start Gaming, and that, could just be the end. Spectral, obviously looking for these Ashe arrows, High Awesome looking to hit with the Nico roots. They got the mid inhibs, so they're going to be super minions crashing into the base, and it seems like Start Gaming correctly identifying that they can just group as 5 and C.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the gut reaction that I had is they can 1-3-1 because of god.
The actual Crimson caught out again. The Xin Zhao ult looking to trade onto Spectral. The Blast Cone really good, but the team just isn't there. And meanwhile, Cheese Swiss going in, uses the ult. Is that going to be enough onto Southern Warrior? No, saved by the Senna W. And we see just really good play by Spectral. Getting the arrow, using the vision that they had, catching out the enemies in Zhao, and that most likely is just going to be the game here.
Yeah, and I mean, Oh, hang on. We
The
see some more
fight
fighting.
coming through. Oh, the flash. Nico
Oh
ult gets
my
3, and that is
god.
going to be it. That is a one-team fight. Hex and the Zanyas just watches as his Nexus falls. Will go down, trades the kill onto Galley. That's a bit of consolation prize. But pretty clean execution towards the end there by Start Gaming.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was telling you, 1-3-1 was probably the way, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with the high CC team comp that they had to just go ahead and group as 5. I mean, they had the tanks with the set and the Mumu to just pull the trigger under a tower if they really wanted to. So long as they kept Ashe and High Awesome alive. And even if Ashe had died, as long as they kept High Awesome alive enough to throw out 2 or 3 spell rotations, like that's just a one fight right away. So, really good acknowledging the fact that they can just do that and, kind of just barreling down the throats. I'm looking at this damage charts right now. Gotta give a great hand to Hex. He played an amazing game. He stole that dragon that would have put Start Gaming at soul point earlier in the game. Had some solo killing High Awesome, one of his only deaths in the entire game. Yeah, one of 2, but just like a really good game coming out from Hex over on X's Clan. But overall, Start Gaming played really well together. I mean, we saw early on Cheese Swiss and High Awesome coming to Zolo Bomber's aid on what looked like a lost fight for Zolo when it came to the Zin Amumu fight. We saw the 2v2 victory coming out from Spectral and Galley. Just overall a really well played game for Start Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about these comps in Champion Select, we outlined the strengths and weaknesses for each one. And I feel like Exodus Clan just didn't really play to their strengths. I didn't not see like the Zin Syndra, take over the early game. Like, realistically, they could
Yeah,
have. Like, I feel like
actually,
Hex's.
Zolo was mid more than Crimson was, which really is the opposite of how that should have worked, but it worked out for Start Gaming.
I mean, like Hayam Stam on the Viego played really well, especially in that last fight. You could see that he knows his champion a lot. Knows these matchups, and I feel like you're sort of spreading yourself too thin when you draft a comp like X's Clan because you have two players that performed really well, and the rest of your team just doesn't have the champion. The rest of the team's champions don't really have the kits to sort of support that. Samira's not really a team, play for team champion.
Yeah,
Granted, Samira's an ADC, and besides Ashe, I can't really think of any supportive ADCs. But if you pick a
I guess Jin technically counts as one utility style ADC, but
Samira is more of a feast or famine champion than other ADCs.
exactly, yeah.
The Senna, especially going, the Kraken Slayer and the Glacial Augment just, wasn't the damage threat. I don't think that comp needed any more damage threats. You have the Viego that's doing really well. You have the Syndra that's doing really well. So I want X's Clan to sort of like rethink their draft game plan because, if it's clear that Start Gaming sort of knew how to play their draft more effectively than X's Clan did.
Yeah, and I mean, it also comes down to something that I specifically have talked to Zolo about in the past, which is drafting easily executable comps, which this team comp really it shows what they want to do. They want a Mumu to go in an ult, followed by the Nico, followed by Set, you know, Haymaker and Spectral and Galley just sit on the backline and kind of free fire and shield and heal and whatever else. So just really obvious what they wanted to do. And on Exodus Clan side, I talked a lot about how they wanted to skirmish, they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, and I felt like they really never got it. They were kind of following, besides a few skirmishes that looked good, but ended up being outnumbered in favor of Start Gaming, such as we saw in that around the red buff where it looked like Crimson had caught out Zolo Bomber. We really never saw any 2v2s, any 3v3s. Everything was 4v4s with the top laners elsewhere or full on 5v5s, which is what Start Gaming wants to do. It's what they want to fight around. So really playing into what Start wanted to do and not playing for their own selves. Like you said, not playing towards their pretty much what they've drafted.
Yeah, but I mean that is only game one, and we do have up to 2 more games on Summoner's Rift. I feel like Exodus Clan, this game is a good learning experience. You can see, how Start Gaming like to play. You can see, especially like how they path, what some of their like strengths and what their weaknesses are. And obviously it's the same on the other side for Start Gaming. They're just a little happier about it because they started up 1-0. But I think that, this is still a winnable series,
Oh yeah.
for both teams. I just want to see, even both teams make adaptations to their draft. And I want to see, these drafts evolve as the series goes along.
Yeah, no, I'm some things, adaptations I'd like to see is, maybe banning away this Umumu. I mean, granted, I didn't think it was the winning combination that, secured Start Gaming this win, but I do think it played a pivotal role. And I mean, on Start Gaming side, something they might want to do is look to get rid of the Syndra. Hex was obviously very, competent on the pick. It's a pick of high awesomes as well, so something they might be interested in. Something I outlined in Champion Select, not banning the Rise, getting it for high awesome, to pilot on his own. We saw how well he did on that. Nico, I can only imagine how amazing he could do on a hyper carry like Rise. But we'll have to wait and see what the adaptation will end up being. I don't want to give too much away and give them too many
Yeah.
ideas or something. So
Dude, both coaches are like, yo, write this down, write this down.
yeah, write this down, write this down.
We got TF Blade personal coaching for LAS Premade, but I don't want to keep anyone here for too long. We're going to toss it over to a quick break as we get into game 2. And I will see you on the flip side for more League of Legends.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play far reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. No, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat.
Twitch accounts. What is up, gamers? We are back for game 2 of Start Gaming versus Exodus Clan.
Yep, I'm ready for a game 2. Hopefully, we see some adaptations as the rapid fire draft coming out actually here. We've got Tristana banned on Start Gaming side, followed by Master Yi, and then Volibear again. And we do see the Ashe taken away from Spectral, had some really good arrows, like I pointed out earlier. And Set actually taken away from Start Gaming after Cheese Swiss highlighted that. Kind of an interesting decision there. Maybe they've got something planned, but we'll have to wait and see. As we see, Lulu is the final ban from Exodus. And leaving the Amumu up, I mentioned that at the end of last game. Zolo played very well on it and bringing it back. And, they do have their normal support coming in with Hey, it's Matt. So maybe we are going to see that flexibility I was talking about in the last game. Have to wait and see how this draft plans out as Exodus looks to respond. I mean, Xin wouldn't be a bad pick again. I really didn't think he played it necessarily poorly, and it's still a very good pick. But we do see Nautilus coming out here.
So when I see the Axlulu bans, I think that Exodus Clan decide that they want to play through bot because Axlulu is a very uninteractive lane. Especially if you draft Samira Senna into it, you cannot play the game as the ADC and support of Exodus. So I see the Xayah Nautilus locked in. A bit weird that they're blinding both bot laners. Maybe they want to take the Xayah away from Spectral, possibly. But
Yeah.
if you're banning for your bot lane and then blinding it anyway, that is a note of confidence, but that does leave you vulnerable to just getting counterpicked and having a tough lane matchup regardless.
So I want to talk about the Church of Nautilus jungle. I highly, highly doubt it'll ever come out, and I'm fully confident that this is Nautilus support. However, in the same vein that Amumu is, in the same way that Amumu is flexible, Nautilus is also flexible between those two positions. And speaking of flexibility, we see Viego coming out, which is flexible between 3 roles. So, can potentially throw a wrench in whatever Start Gaming could be thinking of. And go mid. We saw Hayam Snom piloting it in the top lane, and is, of course, a power pick in the jungle still to this day. So we'll have to wait and see where that's going to go.
I think it's equally likely to be top or jungle. I do not think it is a Hex champion. I think he prefers, those long-range mages. And I do think that the default plan for Exodus is to put it in the top lane. And my best guess is that, say, matchups wise, it's really good in the jungle, and then they can counter pick a different top laner, they will. But I think the default is to put it on Hayam Snum. He has been playing Viego this week and last week, and it seems like to be a champion that he is very comfortable on. As we see the R4 pick for Exodus Clan. Gonna be the Kazakhs. That's kind of spicy. I mean, can't really do much into the Amumu, but if you're able to isolate yourself against the Sivir or the Morgana, then that champion is very scary.
So I'll wait till the draft fully completes, but I'm something of a Kazakhs connoisseur myself. I peaked ranked 75 Kazakhs in North America this season, so I'll talk a lot more about that when we get to the end of the draft. But I'm very excited to talk about it in general.
See the
We see
Syndra
Syndra.
locked in for
Yeah,
start gaming. That's huge. I think with Syndra Amumu, Syndra's gonna do so much damage. High Awesome pilots the champion very well. I have seen it firsthand, in our normal draft games. I think we played last night. And we see the Shen being hovered for Cheese Swiss. Do you I wonder if I like this pick.
yeah. No, it's like kind of. I can't decide if I like it or not. Like I don't know. The only thing I will say is with the addition of this Shen, I think Sivir has to go on hit. I think if you go lethality Sivir here, it makes less sense than going on hit. It just runs into the same issue, except worse, that they had last game, where I feel like they literally have no damage. So
I
looking
mean,
on
they won
Spectral to
last
realize
game.
that. I know they won last game, but they have even less damage this time than they did last time.
Wait,
So
I think lethality Sivir might be fine here. We see the brand locked in. See the thing
uh,
about start gaming with comp is I like the Shen because you know Cheese Swiss didn't really have the most fun time in lane
yeah,
last time. So if you put him on Shen and he can ult to the bot lane, this is start gaming understanding that they have a favorable matchup in the mid lane and in the bot lane. I feel like Syndra should be fine into brand, right?
Syndra, yeah, because I feel like she outranges him. Sorry, I feel like she definitely outranges the brand. It's just a question of she might get shoved in faster than Syndra can. I don't know. It's going to be a wave clear battle for the most part. The only way I see kill potential happening is from both of their stun abilities. So we'll have to wait and see if they can hit those, if they'll even fish for those to begin with. But I mean, if a stun lands, both of these champions have enough 100-0 to probably kill each other. So that could potentially be a fiery matchup in the mid lane. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, someone bring Whitney back, please.
Yes, 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 yes.
Um,
Um, no, I mean, I agree with you that lethality Sivir is okay here. I just think they really need some DPS that they seriously don't have right now, for objectives and for like this Viego is going to get tanky with Divine Thunder, and this Nautilus is going to get tanky. I mean, I guess it is a relatively squishy team, but all right, time for the Church of Kazakh. So, this team comp that Start Gaming's put together really makes me want to say that he should go this Conqueror build, Conqueror with Gore Drinker, and we see the draft ending. But I think this should be a Conqueror game for Kazakhs, just because there's so much CC, there's so much innate tankiness from the Amumu and the Shen, and they can kill you before you kill them. I mean, Syndra can easily itemize into the Zanyas, and so can Morgana. In fact, I feel like I see it a lot in and around Gold Plat Elo. But we'll have to wait and see if they do that. But I really would prefer Conqueror. The other option is Electrocute into like an Eclipse build would be, not super terrible. There's a world where Dark Harvest is imaginable, but I really would prefer Electrocute, because it's better for dueling in the early game, and you really want to try and press on this Amumu as much as you can, just because you generally beat him in this 1v1. We'll have to wait and see how he plays it, but that's like my thoughts on it. I really want to see the Kazakhs pop off personally, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Oh, okay. We are having technical
we're having
difficulties.
a bit of technical difficulties. Riot's client is sometimes difficult to work with, but While we have the extra time, I want to go into this bot lane matchup a little. We see Ravensman, our resident bug expert, exterminator, if you will, talking about the jungle. But while Ravensman was ranked 75 NA, I was ranked 50 Zaya NA, which means I am better than Ravensman in every way.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Now, all jokes aside, I was talking about this a bit earlier, but Exodus Clan R1 R2 their bot lane, Zaya Nautilus, which on
Mhm.
its own is fine. That's like a fine bot lane. The problem is that like allowed Start Gaming to lock Sivir Morgana, and you don't really get the kill pressure, from the Nautilus onto Sivir Morgana. Morgana has Black Shield, Sivir has Spell Shield. You're never getting CC'd unless,
Yeah.
there is a bit of a misplay. Another thing too, the interaction between Zaya ult and Morgana ult in the level 6 fight. This would be a fight that's happening, maybe around like first or even second dragon. Zaya ult does not break tethers. So stuff like Fiddlesticks ulti, Morgana ulti, Nocturne Fear doesn't really, can't really deal with that. You need to alt flash, out of range.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier against Morgana than champions like Fiddlesticks and Nocturne who are going to do that right in your face. However, if this Morgana is able to get a root or even get a flank, she can walk right next to you, pop R, and suddenly, the champion that's very good at avoiding damage and, playing very safe is put in a very difficult situation.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I I I really do like the reactionary Sivir Morgana. At the same time, I think it can potentially end up being a free lane for this Zaya. But like you said, there is that tether interaction with the Zaya ult. In fact, I actually died yesterday because I forgot about that
Because you're
interaction when I
bad.
was facing.
Yes,
Because
I
I'm bad, yeah.
understand.
That as well, I forgot about the tether interaction with a Nocturne, and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot that
Yeah.
that interaction was a thing.
The other thing to consider is that this is why I was actually talking about lethality Sivir is if you get a serrated Dirk early on the Sivir, you actually just outpush Zaya. There is nothing, Zaya is very known for her ability to control waves, but she cannot do that if Sivir is just going to, cue the wave every 5 seconds or so. So, it sort of nullifies a lot of the strength that Zaya has in the early game, getting kills with the root, shoving waves into the tower to get early prio for objectives. So I really like what Start Gaming is doing with this Sivir Morgana bot lane. Obviously, it depends on execution. If you mess up the spell shield, if you mess up the black shield, Nautilus will kill you and then you will die. But,
Yeah.
given how Spectral and the last game was Spectral and Galley, but hey, it's Matt back in for this as the starting support. Um, Given how well they did last game against the bot lane of Exodus Clan, I am gonna put this bot lane matchup in the favor of Start Gaming.
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to believe you. Not that I think you're lying. Agree with you. I'm inclined to agree with you. Although, like I said, I do think it has the potential to turn into just a you push the wave, I push the wave back, you push the wave, I push the wave back. In which case, Zaya would end up with this free lane. And if that does end up happening, Exodus has a much needed backline, a safe backline champion that they were missing last game with that Samira and the Senna. So I am a much bigger fan of this adaptation for their bot lane than I wasn't a big fan of that combination, and I like this one a little better. It's just down to, I mean, it's really down to, hey, it's Matt to fish for these Morgana Qs onto the Zaya, see if she can blow Zaya ult, or, prior to that, if she can get some stuff out. Because, like you're saying, there's both spell shields on both these champions for Nautilus's Q, Nautilus's ult. I mean, there really shouldn't be a world where Nautilus gets an engage on a Start Gaming. So I think, if anything, Nautilus should just abandon Zaya post 6 and try and look for fights with this Kha'Zix, with this Viego, with this brand, and try and snowball the map elsewhere and let Zaya kind of just free farm around, in that bot lane, moving her to the mid lane, making her stay safe, and then she can take over the game pretty much post 3 items. We'll have to wait and see if that's how it ends up panning out. Obviously, they wanted to do a similar thing last game. They couldn't get it rolling because of various things. We'll have to see what they can do if they can get it rolling this game.
Yeah. And another thing too that we haven't mentioned is the top lane. Well, we talked about it a little, but the top lane matchup, like Hayam Snom had a really easy time against the set. You have to imagine it should be about the same for Hayam Snom into a Shen. So if this
Yeah,
Viego can get ahead, I mean, Shen is deceptively scary. I will give you that, especially with the base damage on his Q. But I feel like Hayam Snom has he's played a lot of Viego.
yeah. No,
There's
I'm
no
I'm
other reason that he would be picking a champion like this if he wasn't completely comfortable on it. And I'd venture that he's probably played against more Shens than Cheese Swiss has played against Viego top.
probably, yeah. I mean, this matchup, I I could see it being a bit of a stalemate like we saw at the early parts of the last one. Um, but I really do agree with you. I think it's going to be Viego favored. Although something to note is Viego is, besides his ult with the execute, is mainly or I guess execute damage, is mainly an auto attacker. Shen can block autos. That's really the only interaction I see Shen getting, but you're never picking Shen for the 1v1 ability. You're always picking him to assist the rest of the map. So, you know, in that sense, we're kind of just expecting him to lose lane to this Viego. I mean, obviously, you want to lose as gracefully as possible. Expectations is like minus 30, minus 40 CS at like 15 minutes. That's like not a big deal. Or 20 minutes. That's not a big deal. As long as you're able to impact the map, make some proactive plays, make some reactive plays, which is something that Shen shines at. That's difficult. Say that 5 times fast.
Could have picked any other verb.
I know, but it's the
Excel.
first one that excels. That's the thing that
Succeeds.
Shen exceeds at. But is reactionary plays. There's all this talk about being proactive, but with Shen, you really can be reactive without feeling too bad about it. So
Yeah,
I just can't
I
speak right
mean,
now.
looking at these two drafts and you know taking into consideration what happened last game, I'm gonna toss the question over to you, Ravens man, first. Who you got for this game?
Oh, I'm like inclined to aim towards start after basically the way they dissuaded some skirmishes of Exodus around that Rift Herald in the red buff quadrant. Um, that's where I'm leaning because Exodus kind of wants to do the same thing with this Viego Kha'Zix, brand. Kind of wants to skirmish again. And Start has the power to answer it with the Shen. Syndra can shove and move. And it's a Mumu versus another diver, we'll call it, with the Kha'Zix. Diver 1v1 champion. So I mean, Start is definitely in a position where they're familiar with what they've got as far as going into this game. I do think there's a very strong chance that Exodus can take this. I don't think there was any big like draft diff. I don't think there was anything particularly wrong from either side. So as far as it goes, it's an even landscape for me. It just comes down to I think Start is better off to anticipate and react to what Exodus wants to do based on what happened last game.
So I'm actually going to bring up a point that you made towards the end of last game, and I'm going to bring up the ease of execution here.
Mm-hmm.
I look at both teams. It is infinitely easier to drop even five players that have never played together. Infinitely easier to drop them with Start Gaming's comp than with the comp of Exodus.
Yes.
I do agree that both teams have made, updates, they have made adaptations, but I feel like the same underlying issues that were present in Exodus Clan's draft last game haven't been fully resolved. Like, it sort of feels like this draft is sort of a bit of a band-aid on the issue. Like I do really like the pick of the Nautilus over the Senna. I feel like, when you have a bunch of carry champions, having a utility champion like that is a lot better. However, I sort of look at this and like, I guess my biggest gripe is with like drafting Viego Kha'Zix I feel like both of those champions are fine on their own, but I feel like if you're drafting them together, you are losing out,
Yeah.
on a lot of potential that a different champion could bring. Like a facilitator top laner suddenly makes Kha'Zix more of a threat, or maybe a facilitator in the jungle role can suddenly allow the Viego to pop off, but instead you have two very squishy champions that are going to get blown up by the mid ADC of Start Gaming. And we have talked for way too long. We are in loading screen right now. We're going to send it off to a very quick break, and we will get back to you for game 2 of Start Gaming versus Exodus Clan. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for, in fact, the second game of the day. I almost said the first, but that was like an hour ago. Oh, but we see some shenanigans happening. This is what I like.
Oh
We see Start
God.
Gaming on the blue side, 5 stacking a bush. Meanwhile, on the other side, Exodus Clan are looking to invade. But there's a ward placed by Hey It's Matt. They'll be able to spot Exodus Clan before Exodus Clan spots them. Now, like National Geographic,
Aw,
we sit and we wait and nothing happens. No, I was
that's
excited.
that was so depressing. What an end.
Wait, I had
And
like
I
I had like a whole bit prepared. I was gonna be like, and now we see the wild Exodus clan in the jungle stalking their prey. It was gonna be so funny, but apparently I'm not
I'll
allowed
laugh
to
at
have
it
fun.
for you.
Thank you, Ravens fan.
You're welcome. Something I want to point out is this ward that who is it that plays this? I can't tell at the moment. But it's not actually showing. See, this was Viego. It's not actually on the Raptor camp, so Zolo can actually sneak by the vision of it. So they don't actually know. I mean, they can take a pretty solid guess based on the fact that obviously Spectral and Hey It's Matt are going to come to the lane kind of late. I mean, around the same time as this Nautilus and the Zaya. But Zolo Bomber shouldn't be spotted by this.
Yeah, it depends. Because if Zolo Bomber also kites too far to the right, he will get spotted. Meanwhile, oh, you see a nice Dark Binding by Hey It's Matt. Doesn't really do much, but that's a bit of a flex. Just checking in on runes and masteries, we do see the Dark Harvest for Sivir, so this is going to be a lethality Sivir. Everything else looks fairly standard. I mean,
It
Airy
is the Conqueror
Morgana.
Kazakhs.
Ooh, the Conqueror Kazakhs, you're right.
Who's
Honestly,
listening?
when I play against Kazakhs in solo queue, that Conqueror build is the absolute bane of my existence. So I definitely think that's the right decision here.
Yeah, no, I've actually been more partial to the electrocute into tankier team comps with the Eclipse, but that's only into like 1 or 2 bruisers. This is like 2 full tanks. I think Conqueror is just the better option. The real reason you want it though is the tenacity that you can spec into with the like Legend tenacity and like Merc treads, and you don't feel as bad about it.
Another nice dark binding into the Boomerang Blade. We see a bit of a mirror from last game with Heim Snom winning the early trades in the top side, and Spectral and the support winning, the support being Hey It's Mad. I mean, last game was Galley, but Spectral and Hey It's Mad this game winning the trades in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think early on it's probably gonna go over to that side, but
Ooh,
obviously
Zolo Bomber going for an early gank. The bandage toss misses, but the Shen taunt is good. Second bandage toss, that's a Moo baby. Forces the flash away from Hayam Stom, but it seems like the side of Exodus clan is ready to respond. High Awesome is just not able to get Prio in the river, and the kill won't go through. Crimson on this Kazakhs will be able to secure the top scuttle, and Zolo Bomber is not in a position to answer with the bot scuttle.
Yeah, and I mean, crucially, like, it's not going to end up amounting to too much other than Hayam Snom blowing Flash, which is big in and of itself, but, you know, it's not going to lead to Hayam Snom missing a bunch of CS because this is pushing in towards him anyways. He's probably only going to miss 3 or 4 CS at the most from this full push coming in.
And you have to think like that was such a close play. The margin of like one Mr. Dodge skill shot could have. Ooh, that is a level 3 Amumu going into a level 4 Kha'Zix solo bomber. Crucially went for the crab, even though he knew that Kha'Zix was probably able to get that first. He's not going to be punished too hard for it. Does not have to burn his flash. Just going to get chunked as he walks over to his Krugs and starts clear 2.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a bit of a disrespectful play there by Zolo Bomber, not expecting Crimson to just go ahead and go for the double scuttle. Part of the problem was, Zolo Bomber didn't end up getting that kill on the Hayam Snom, so he forewent the time spent he could have gotten on that top scuttle, and instead went for that gank, which didn't amount to much. I really want to see him look for a return gank onto this Viego before his flash comes back up, especially given the fact that he, got double scuttled for it, and neither Cheese Swiss nor Zolo had to blow flash to, get Snom to blow that flash, so you can look for a flash taunt on the Shen, and then followed up straight with a bandage toss, or bandage toss even onto a minion. Oh my god.
Ooh, that is a play coming in. Honey Badger looking for the kill onto Hey It's Matt, forces the heal away from Spectral. So we see, the Dark Binding hits. That gonna be a kill. Ignite goes down onto the Morgana as well as the Sivir, and Honey Badger gets the return kill. I guess just not respecting the ability of the Nautilus to do Nautilus things, which is apparently a lot of damage. Again,
Yeah,
another
that
thing
was
that happened there. The Morgana ignited after the Xayah heal came through. So Xayah heal didn't get Grievous. Meanwhile, a fight in the top lane. Cheese Swiss on the Shen, actually getting the better of Hayam Sam in the trade, using the base damage on the Shen Q plus the grass very well. Viego is 6 now though, and Shen ult is really good ability, but really bad in a 1v1. So
yeah,
you have to imagine that if any extended fights happen, the window of opportunity is over for the Shen. Really just has to play for his team now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Shen really excels at these short trades where he gets, 1 grass proc, 3 autos. That's like prime Shen trading. And Viego has, so much innate healing that despite getting this, Bramble vest early, it's still going to allow Viego to pretty much heal up these entire trades that Shen is going to end up taking. We do see both junglers hovering around mid lane right now, though. Curious to see if anything's going to amount from this, but it looks like they're just going to go back to farming, starting at the buffs they started at the early game.
Yeah, it seems that this early game, is going to be about the same pace as the other one. Like plays are being made, but they're not like, it's not constant back and forth fighting. But we do see some prio on the dragon. Both junglers in the bot side, though crucially, Spectral isn't there yet, and Zolo Bomber might be a bit too far forward. Gets hooked up by the Nautilus. The Dark Binding is not enough. However, Zolo Bomber is very tanky. Level 5 already on that Amumu will not go down, but there is just complete river priority on the side of Exodus Clan.
Yeah, and this is... Oh, hang on.
Ooh, Hayam Snom getting traded on, and Tisa is crucially just taking these short trades using the Grasp. Viego has Conqueror, and so if you let the trade go way too long, you are going to eventually start losing that. So it's good on Tisa to sort of just, go in, go out, weave around with the Shen to sort of maximize the amount of damage he's doing relative to the enemy jungler. But meanwhile, I said jungler, I was talking about this. Crimson is level 6 and Zolo is level 5, but Zolo has friends. Crimson might get caught out here. Gets the kill onto Zolo, though. That is a trade 1-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a bit of disrespect coming in from Zolo, thinking that he could walk back into the Kazakhs despite his entire team being there. I mean, this is exactly what we saw Crimson do last game, which was kind of go for a disrespectful play. This time working out a little bit better than it did last game. Obviously, last game resulting in both a kill for the enemy mid laner and the enemy top laner. This time it is a trade 1-for-1, but that gold did go to 4 different people. Hey, it's Matt got an assist, Spectral got an assist, Zolo got an assist. Oh, I also got an assist, and the kill went to Hey, it's Matt.
Yeah, and getting a kill on Morgana generally isn't like, I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst too, especially since Morgana did get the blue buff. Able to toss out more W's, more Q's in lane, gonna make it easy for Spectral, get some poke off. But like you said, I seemed like another disrespectful play. 2 games in a row now, Crimson going into the enemy jungler and getting caught. But we see that he's not going to be punished too hard for this. He still, does have a sizable lead on the Amumu. Granted, Kha'Zix sort of does need to get that early, as Amumu is going to be a lot more useful in later team fights if both champions, if neither one of those champions are super ahead.
Yeah, but crucially, both junglers starting the neutral objectives on either side's strong side of the map. So we see early Drake pressure coming in again from Stark Gaming. We see early Rift-Herald pressure coming in from the side of Exodus Clan.
Oh, Batista is going in for a trade. Will Crimson walk up? Hayam Snom trying to bait this. Batista is taking a trade for a little longer than I would have hoped. The Conqueror is being procced, but seems Hayam Snom just doesn't have the damage yet to abuse this.
Yeah, I mean, it really does suck. Oh, hang on. Okay. It really does suck for Cheese Swiss because obviously, like I pointed out earlier, he is itemizing in towards that Bramble Vest, but the trades just... You don't want the trades to be long, and the trades aren't long enough for it to matter, so Hayam Snom just gets to, heal up base, with his passive, with this Mad Scepter he's purchased.
Oh, we see T-Swiss going in, hits the taunt though. Fight coming through. Is this going to be the longer exchange that we want? This happened last game. Both top laners rather, are seething with the prospect of a solo kill, but Hayam Snom wants it, decides to back away. Crimson crucially has eaten Zolo's top side. So if, they want to go for a dive on this Shen, Shen cannot ult himself. He is super vulnerable to this. Depends on if Exodus Clan's jungler sees the play or not. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, High Awesome getting a decent stun onto Hex, but it's not going to really result in anything.
Yeah, I really expect Crimson to get super accelerated off of these plays that just happened, because Crimson got all 3 camps on Zolo Bomber's blue side jungle, whereas on, for Zolo, he only got that Gromp from Crimson's jungle. He left the Wolves up and the blue was already down, so, Zolo Bomber's coming in here, maybe going to look for something on Hayam Snom, but his flash is back up, so, they did wait a little too long on this return gank.
Second game in a row where Zolo ganks, too late, and this game could turn disastrous. I feel like.
And they just saw him, the missing ping right on top of them, but.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Zolo recognize that gonna walk away. Meanwhile, Crimson actually looking for a bit of a lane gank. Oh, Zolo's back, hits the Q this time, but the Mumu ult gets a good stun. It will Hayam Snom go down. He can't get the reset, but Cheese Swiss goes down to the Kazakhs. Crucially, Hayam Snom survives, using the Viego ult to get out. Zolo Bomber may look for a trade kill or may look to run away. The Viego W traded with the Amumu Q, but that is a very strong mummy. And Crimson's fighting in the wave. Is this going to be enough? Amumu as Conqueror has to wait for the Q to get a stun. It looks like it's going to be the fight for
Oh
Exodus
my
Clan
god.
barely. Solo Bomber almost making the outplay happen, but it's not going to be enough.
And crucially, if that fight had gone 2 seconds longer, Shen was about to spawn with his ult available.
Very,
Unfortunately,
very unfortunate.
yeah, super close fight there, but you know, this is starting to look really bad for Start Gaming. You got a 3-1-0 Kha'Zix who just got 2.5, 3 turret plates from that Rift Child spawn. Like, Diego didn't get any of it, so it goes all to him. He's currently up 20 CS. I mean, 5 camps up on this Amumu, so we've really got to wait and see if he can capitalize on this. I will say Kha'Zix is a very difficult champion to get to work in a competitive environment. So, you know, maybe there's a world where that comes into play, but he's 2 levels up on Zolo Bomber. And Zolo is always going to be innately more useful just because of the CC and tankiness he brings to the table.
I think the point is Crimson on the Kha'Zix needs to keep playing well like this, you know?
Yes.
He's done a good job of getting the early game ahead, but that doesn't mean he can start, slacking off. Meanwhile, though, the bot lane Crimson looking for a play onto Spectral, gets a jump in the flash.
Oh.
I don't think you need to flash that. You have Black Shield on you, but it's a safety precaution nonetheless. No kill goes down. Cheese Swiss now losing the trade. Hyam Snom, has a lot more gold and items and is a bit more of a formidable opponent in the 1v1. However, Zolo looking for a return gank, maybe? Finishes the crab off first, but it seems like the wave might not be in the position to get this kill. Viego pops the E, drops the control word, and Zolo's gank fizzles out.
Yeah, we see some pings coming in from High Awesome that they want to start prioritizing this Ocean Dragon that's about to spawn. Zolo Bomber
Crimson
caught
goes
out again,
in,
though.
Zolo caught out. Gets hit by the Brand W. Don't think it's going to be enough damage. Hex would need to. Is that Shadow burnt?
Yeah, Shen'll burned onto Syndra instead of onto the Amumu.
That's not good, right?
No, and
Definitely
Shen
think that is
also does
bad.
not have TP up, which means that Hyam Snom has the TP advantage coming into this dragon. I mean, there's a world right now where they send High Awesome top to answer this Viego because High Awesome's gonna have teleport up in the next 20 seconds. But it doesn't look like they're gonna do that, so they're gonna be down a man if they want to fight for this, like they seem to want. Crimson is on the top side clearing his Krugs, and I would expect wants to reset right after that. So maybe if they get a quick start on this, they can get it, but
Solo's on the
Kha'Zix-
red buff. He's not on the dragon.
yeah,
You see the
Kha'Zix is
bot
for
lane of
going the back
Exodus
as well.
Clan roaming up. Really, I guess they drop a ward, and they're going to reset too. I don't know if Start Gaming know this. I don't know if Start Gaming know that they can punish the TP from Syndra coming in. Kha'Zix crucially didn't reset it. Is now here by the Drake pit. Maybe Zolo could look for a pick onto this Kha'Zix. You see on the mini-map, the two might intersect paths very quickly.
I mean, Start Gaming's bot lane has the pick on him. They're surrounding him.
Oh, hey, it's Matt. Gets sort of picked off, but it's not going to be enough damage. Crimson suddenly finds it. Ooh, barely enough movement speed to avoid the Morg tether. Crimson burned his flash for that. Is Zolo going to start the dragon? That is a very risky play. Seems like Exodus Clan definitely want to contest. We see the Viego TP. It's going to be canceled. It will be canceled by Cheese Swiss. Very good heads up play by the Shen, and now it is a 4v4. Cheese Swiss, actually, if this fight goes on too long, the Shen ult might come back up. So.
And also, Crimson did heal on that Gromp, so he is back to full health. Zolo Bomber and Matt are, only 3/4 HP. We'll have to wait and see if they can get this done. I mean, they've got the mid priority.
Oh, the hook onto Zolo Bomber. Blast Shield is too late. That's just going to be a solo ult onto the Nautilus. A quick pick and the number 2 hits onto the Xayah. That's the R flash I was talking about. And actually, Spectral walked up too forward. They weren't able to get the kill on the Xayah. High Awesome trades for the kill onto Crimson, but it is in the end going to be a 2-for-2. What looked like a good fight for Start Gaming was answered by Exodus Clan.
Yeah, and it really came down to the Xayah ult, buying time to get out of that sticky situation, flashing away from the Amumu. Really good awareness. I really don't like anything really other than Gale Force or Shield Bow on Xayah, so I'm really not a huge fan of this
I don't know. Kraken
Kraken
Slayer's
Slayer?
fine here. Kraken Slayer is definitely fine here.
I
Is it
just think
Phantom
Gale
Mumu?
Force. Yeah, but you can go LDR3, can you not? Like just instead.
LDR3 is like a lot worse because you need a PD too because of the attack speed changes on Xayah Q. ER feels a lot worse because it doesn't give attack speed, so your Q cast isn't reduced. So Kraken Slayer is fine because it's a lot harder to fit LDR into your build. That was the roundabout way of saying that this Mythic Keystone is fine.
Okay. So wait, do you go Kraken into ER into PD?
I would go
Or
this game. I would go
Kraken
Kraken
into
PD. I go Kraken PDIE this
Okay.
game.
I think there's a world where LDR also fits instead of IE. If instead, anyway,
I
getting
guess.
besides the point. All right. Anyway,
we see
so
Southern Warrior
yes.
though getting flanked by High Awesome.
Oh
Pushing
my
no
God!
ult, no flash, gets blown up by the Syndra. You know, in that last fight, the Syndra did pick up the shutdown on the Kha'Zix. Speaking of Kha'Zix though, will he be able to get the dragon in time? Oh, Zolo Bomber goes for the kill instead of the dragon. I guess it's the same. I feel like Solo could have 50-50 that, but speaking of 50-50,
Yeah. Oh my God.
only 50% of the skill shots will hit, but that is enough. The brand ult does destroy the play, but flash by Zolo Bomber. He wants to secure this kill, but he might go down. He gets stunned up, burning from the Dark Harvest and the brand passive.
Zolo Bomber actually had ult to kill the brand if he really wanted to. He flashed onto it, didn't ult, and brand actually gets out for it.
Yeah,
Very surprised he didn't pull the trigger on that ult, especially after blowing the flash for it.
After
At
you
the
lose
end of the
that
day,
dragon, you need to
yeah.
you need to get kills and you need to burn your cooldowns to secure gold there. But it still is 2 kills on the side of Start Gaming. The tower goes down. That is not first turret. Hayam Snom picked it up in the top lane, but that is more gold onto your Sivir.
Yeah, and again, Spectral quietly having a really good game. 2-1-1 on this Sivir. Even in CS with the Xayah, which obviously you'd prefer to be higher CS, but getting to the crucial components, almost done with the. I always forget which one comes first. The Manamune, not the Muramana. Almost done with the Manamune going into the Muramana. Almost done with Mythic item. So getting to a point where she's really, really going to start hurting. And again, Hayam Awesome having a really good game in the mid lane, having some good picks, just like with this Nico from last game.
Yeah,
Thought that might hit.
High Awesome performing really well. We saw a bit of a tree in the top lane, but it seems like we are getting into a bit of an NA-RAM state. Oh, Brand gets hit by the Dark Binding. You don't have enough members there to follow up. But crucially, with Brand and Xayah sharing mid XP, it seems that Hex is now going down to the bot lane to catch the wave. But High Awesome actually getting, the shove, getting some solo XP. So that's pretty good for him. This Syndra definitely going to be the focal point of Start Gaming's team comp. Having the Amumu for the MR shred, the Sivir speed, the Morgana picks. It's sort of all around High Awesome Syndra.
Yeah, no, this really is looking like High Awesome's game to take over, just like last game. I mean, you've got the same style as last game with a kind of a more utility AD carry. Especially since it's lethality Sivir instead of, the fountain laser crit Sivir that, famously is seen in the 90-minute games or whatever it is.
Oh, we see a pick going down. The Xayah ult dodges the Amumu ult crucially, and it looks like Start Gaming won't be able to convert on the kill. Xayah flash wasn't burned because it wasn't up, so even for the next fight, Xayah will have an escape tool.
However, I do want to point out that they did blow Viego TP, and Shen has TP and ult up right now. So,
That's huge. Shen
that's huge for this upcoming dragon. And if they can make a play prior to the dragon fight.
Shen getting caught out though. Hayam Snom, very strong forces the Shen flash. Not going to be a kill. Is that going to be a Dark Binding? No, it's not. Again, a very, very close to getting Crimson on that fight. But it seems like both teams are sort of handshaking this part of the game and just ready to fight around the dragon.
Yeah, they're definitely pulling the NARAM, like you said a little earlier. Just opting to wait for this to spawn. I really want to see Hey It's Matt get a reset on, like, right now. you know, you got a minute left. We just saw Honey Badger do it on their side. You gotta get wards back in your pocket right now because Nautilus is about to go in and clear them all, and you need them up to replenish. But we're gonna see neither of them start a reset actually, and actually Sivir ult for blown here.
Yeah, they're trying to get Haim Sam on the top lane. They see him taking the Gromp, and they're looking to get a pick before this Drake, but
Oh.
the skill shots are going wide. Vigo is fast, ult over. Will he be able to get the Blast Cone? He will. Huge escape by Haim Snom, and suddenly you've conceded all river pressure for nothing.
Yeah, and not only that, but you've also conceded, you know, if you really want to fight for this dragon in 30 seconds, you've conceded your recall timer.
Yeah, very big play though. Honey Badger might be a little too far forward. Huge black shield to stop the Nautilus ult, and the Q comes in. They want this pick, and that's a lot of damage. Zolo though, taking some return damage, actually will go down, and Honey Badger on the Nautilus will survive. Hi, awesome. Meanwhile, 1v1 in Crimson gets, you know, you can't 1v1 a Kha'Zix. Your champion doesn't do that. And suddenly that's going to be a free Mountain Dragon for this side of Exodus clan.
Yeah, and something that Crimson actually did in his itemization for this Syndra, who, you know, potentially could take over this game, is went straight to Mal of Malmortius, which I kind of disagree with just going all the way up to Maw. Maw is famously just not worth the gold to upgrade past Hex Drinker, unless it's literally your last item, but whatever, it's still a good itemization into a Mumu and Syndra. I mean, even Shen does a lot of magic damage, so good itemization there, and you know, he could always heal up this burst damage that's going to come out from Spectral. So I like it, I just wish he wouldn't have upgraded it fully.
Yeah, I mean, it does its job. Yes, you are wasting a bunch of gold by fully upgrading it, but I'd rather Kha'Zix fully upgrade it than not buy it at all, because, you know, it definitely really helps against the Cinder ults. Speaking of Cinder and Kha'Zix, though, they are not going to meet each other as High Awesome just goes back to the bot lane, tries to catch some more waves, you know, trying to scale up and be this late game powerhouse that start gaming needs.
Yeah, and I mean, this is slowly getting worse and worse, I guess is the way I say it. I mean, it definitely felt like Haim Snom was kind of forcing Exodus to make plays if they wanted to stay in the game last time, whereas this time, you know, Haim Snom has his Mythic and Black, I always call it Black Cleaver, Blade of the Ruin King done. You know, we've got 2.5 items done on Crimson VKC. We've got 2 items done on Southern Warrior. Both supports have a Mythic item, so I mean, it's a very even game, and this time, excuse me, it's in Exodus's favor. So definitely looking not bad, but worse than last game on the side of Start Gaming. Although they are posturing around the Baron with vision on Kha'Zix spot.
I think they want
wish
the
they would start
Xayah.
this.
Yeah, we saw pings coming down onto this top turret. Seems like both teams are gonna split map the. Yeah, Syndra's gonna get dived. Dodges. Oh, the Shen ult though. Is this gonna be enough? The E though doesn't come out early enough. And that's gonna kill. Shen taunt goes wide as well, so that is going to be a kill. And Shen ult burned for this side
And
of
they're gonna
Exodus
dive him now
clan.
too.
They're gonna dive the Shen, not respecting the fact that the team isn't being answered on the top side. Cheese Swiss does have the minion wave, but will it be enough? The Nautilus ult comes down. You have to imagine the hook will come next. Flash forward. Crimson jumps in. Cheese Swiss getting lower and lower and lower and lower until he goes down to Crimson BKC.
Yeah, this is a feels bad man for Start Gaming. I really, really wish they would have started that Baron buff there. They would have been able to secure that probably. I mean, you had Nautilus posturing towards bot, you had Kha'Zix and Diego down there, and Bran was just kind of free pushing mid. Xayah pushed off top. I mean, in my mind, that was kind of a free play, but instead they chose to go for that tower, go for Xayah, who was long gone. And, you know, Syndra ends up dying, Shen ends up dying afterwards. I would love to see more decisiveness out of them for pulling the trigger on some big things, but
I mean, I feel like part of that is that there wasn't any vision control in the bot side of, you know, Start Gaming. Like last game they had so many wards around on their bot side, and this game it's, you know, suddenly absent. I feel like, you know, Jesus and High Awesome didn't really know like how hard Exodus Clan was gonna commit, before it was already too late. And I feel like that
Yeah,
is also another symptom of not having the required vision.
absolutely. And I mean, if you're gonna stick your a mobile mage in the bot side, you do need to set up a bit of cover vision for her, so you can see that oh, Nautilus is pathing down towards there. And I mean, they did see the Kazakhs. I mean, High Awesome did have the opportunity to back off that tower, and kind of disrespected the Kazakhs and the Viego damage, and just kind of waited for it to happen. So, kind of a mistake there. Something I want to point out is I am Snom is level 16 right now. Obviously, Shen is level 15, and we see Brand's level 15 as well, but that is a huge moment.
Oh, we see a root coming down. Are they going to commit for this? Zolo doesn't queue over the wall, not willing to take the fight without the Shen and the Syndra present. I mean, Shen had ult, but I think it's mainly the Syndra not there for the follow-up damage onto
Yeah.
Crimson VKC.
That is Kazakh's ult down, which when you're playing Conqueror Kazakh's is a pretty big cooldown to burn, because it allows him to reposition and wait for the Gore Drinker active to come back up. But, it rightly so, it feels like Start Gaming is nervous to pull the trigger. Obviously, their Exodus is much bigger.
Ooh, Solo Bomber going in. It's a 3-man ulti, but there's not enough follow-up. The dragon goes down to the side of Exodus Clan, and suddenly Exodus Clan is just not taking enough damage. Spectral goes down. T-Swiss goes down. Hey, it's Matt goes down as Exodus Clan wipes the floor with Start Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, unsung hero in that fight, I think, was Hex. He single-handedly zoned all 4 members besides the Amumu off the fight and pretty much killed most of them. I mean, they were all either dead or about a 5th HP when, that fight was truly... and when they were in the middle of the fight. So, really well played from Hex, Prots, whatever you want to call him. Just single-handedly turning that fight, especially with such a great Amumu engage coming in from Zolo Bomber. But it really did feel like they were just too far behind to really fight for it. So, at the same time, it's looking more and more doomed. This is a complete reverse of last game. I mean, I actually recall it being 14-5 in Start Gaming's favor, and now it's 14-5 in Exodus Clan's favor. So, I'll have to see if Start Gaming can make a comeback, but really well played coming in from Exodus, especially after a rough game 1. This Kazakhs has been really good at stopping the Amumu, in his tracks, unlike last game, especially getting that 1-for-1 in the red side jungle, unlike last game where he faltered in that same position. So learning a bit from that mistake.
Ooh, he's going in onto T-Swiss with Shen, gets taunted up, and then the side of Start Gaming has found their pick. Bit of a caster curse there. This IE is not enough, but what is the brand?
Oh my god.
Start Gaming all clumping up, allowing Hex to pad his damage number. That's a flash Q. The spell shield isn't needed actually, as the ultimate will pop onto Spectral. Another hook comes down, and G-Swiss is getting caught out as well. A flash from Haim Stomp secures the kill. That's going to be Baron for Exodus Clan.
Yeah, no, really well played. Especially after losing their jungler. Hex was just beautiful coming out there to make sure that Crimson's death didn't go unpunished. But a bit of maybe 1v9 mentality from Crimson there, thinking that he could just jump on whoever he wants. But Hex definitely bailing him out there. Honey Badger with a good flash over the wall to go further onto the Sivir and then onto the Shen from there. And this is just looking more and more doomed on the side of Start Gaming. They might want to start thinking about a game 3 and how to recreate what they did in game 1.
I mean, Solo is still going for the same plays that he did last time. It's just that they don't have as much follow-up. One, because, the Sivir ult isn't really, enough, I guess, to go in, and they haven't built up enough of an advantage for themselves that they can sort of brute force fight like these.
Oh, sorry. Directed camera went away. Yeah, no, I mean, This feels like a matter of time. They're waiting for Viego to pull
Is
this.
that
Oh,
Dark Binding going to be enough? The huge stopwatch stops what could have been a game-saving play. Hex definitely the target that you want to hit on the side of Start Gaming. You need to get
absolutely.
rid of that brand before he absolutely terrorizes your backline.
Yeah, as I was saying before that happened, they were waiting for Viego to get kind of in line with them here. We do see Viego finally getting onto that tier 2. I really think he should just dive Zilla Bomber. He's 5 levels up on him. And I
The
don't
level
think he'd take
18
too much
vehicle.
damage. Yeah. But we are going to see him play the respectful way, wait for the next wave, and then probably take that turret down. From there, this is just a slow burn. I mean, we've got Viego about to take that tower, and then you start knocking on 2 different inhib towers.
Yeah. See, Spectrum having to clear these cannon waves, tossing a boomerang blade every 5 seconds or so will eventually get the cannon, but you know, it seems like the individual advantages that Start were able to build last time just weren't there this game, and they're playing like they do have these advantages, which is
Yeah.
sort of, punishing them for it.
Exactly. And I do want to point out, Zaya did go LDR3, so I'm going to take it as a moral victory. Not saying it's the right play, but my moral victory. So, yeah, looking at these itemizations, we've got Void Staff actually coming out from Hex after this, which is going to do crazy amount of damage on literally everybody. We've got 3 items done on Kha'Zix, we got 3 items done, 3.5 items done on Viego, 2 items on the Nautilus, and then over on Start Gaming side, Amumu just finishing his 2nd item. You got 3 items on Syndra, 3.5 items again with the Maw of Malmortius upgrade. That Maw upgrade easily could have been finished Serylda's here, but instead, you've got this finished Maw that really isn't supplying much more than, what Hex Drinker gives. I still don't think it's gold efficient to upgrade it, even after the itemization changes.
Does it
In
matter
this
though?
preseason.
He's so much he's so much farther ahead than any of the players on Start Gaming that, he has that extra gold to spend.
Yeah. Oh, and all right.
That, Zella's not happy about that one, folks.
No, not at all. And I mean, if you want to look on the bright side, if you start gaming, at least Crimson blew his ult, but with the Gore Drinker build, you get so much CDR that it's already 3/4 of the way back up. So it really doesn't end up mattering. And I mean, Crimson really can just do what he wants in that jungle at this point. He can be anywhere he wants in that jungle. So it's his for the taking, and it's kind of just on Start Gaming to pray that Exodus Clan makes a mistake, whereas Exodus Clan can kind of just whittle them down, wait for this next Baron. I feel like Start Gaming's only win condition is a serious misplay around the Elder Dragon for, 4 minutes. And even then, it's a long way back up. So, like I was saying a while ago, I think this is just a matter of time before Exodus manages to pull this win.
Yeah, I mean, seems that, these champions that needed to get ahead to catch up in that damage scaling. I mean, the closest is High Awesome Syndrome, Crimson getting taunted up. Not gonna really be anything. Shen doesn't die easily. Gordon Kha'Zix doesn't die easily. They're just gonna have fun padding each other's damage numbers.
I actually think Shen could kill him here. He's got the Bramble Vest, but he's not gonna, It's risky, it definitely could be close, but just gonna see this inhib tower go down and probably the inhib right after it.
Yeah, we see, that Nautilus ult is locked up, but that still means the inhib down.
Yeah, and I mean, that's gonna lead right into what I would guess. Oh, really? Okay, they're gonna go for this bot inhib. This is potentially a moment of blunder where maybe Start Gaming can make something happen. I doubt it. Okay, they're gonna back off. I was gonna say, you got the Baron coming up in 30 seconds. The safe play is to go go back and start that Baron, and you can just, finish it from there.
See Hayam Snam having to flash away. That is a big cooldown. It's not enough to win you a team fight, but definitely doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to take what you can get. I think Start Gaming would take whatever they can get at this point. But we are going to see all of Exodus Clan backing and, looking to grab this Baron on its spawn pretty much. And I would not be surprised if Start Gaming's thought process is to let them have it and try and fight for this Baron Dragon in 2 minutes. I really don't think they can do anything for this. I really think their only hope is this Elder Dragon. And even that's a very slim one.
Start Gaming is just not in position to even remotely contest. And they're sort of just vibing in the jungle too. Only Spectral is actually shoving out the waves. Meanwhile, Exodus Clan is going to be able to walk this top wave into the top inhib tower and potentially get another inhibitor this game.
Yeah, and you've got Viego about to go down to that bot wave, and I don't think Shen can really answer him in the slightest, so pretty rough. And you saw how little damage they did, all 4 of them, doing to that Kha'Zix, so it's a big bug. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Oh,
Speaking of big bug, he gets rooted up though. Hey, it's not crucially doesn't go down. Crimson will get caught out. Kill goes down to Solo Bomber, but can Exodus Clan finish? That's a trade already. High Awesome gets stunned up, and the brand damage this fight was insane again.
and that's a quadra kill for Southern Warrior, actually, coming out. Really good fight. Again, Crimson Warrior, Crimson VKC getting caught out and his team kind of just bailing him out. Not that, he couldn't do that, his team was nearby, but just kind of funny that that's how it ended up going. And yeah, we're going to see an end coming in from Exodus Clan. And yeah, we're going to a game 3.
We are going to a game 3. I mean, very good on... I want to see the damage charts, because yes, I got a quadra kill in that last fight, but I feel like Brand just did all of the damage there. That was very huge plays by Hex.
I'm looking at it now. We've got quite a bit of damage
big
coming out there. Yeah, especially, we saw last game a pretty even damage chart between at least the 2 mid laners had roughly the same damage. But, this time, not even close. I mean, you've got 2 people on Exodus Clan higher than all people on Start Gaming. So, this brand pick, I was kind of surprised to see it. It's not something you see very often anymore, but it really did its job. I mean, I pointed out that one dragon fight where it completely zoned 4 people away from the fight. So I'm pleasantly surprised with how it did, and I'm also pleasantly surprised with how the Kha'Zix did, because as I spoke, way earlier in the draft, I love Kha'Zix, one of my favorite champions all time. So I'm really glad to see him performing well on it. If not, a little disrespectful at times to all of Start Gaming, specifically Zolo, but kind of comes with the territory when you're playing Kha'Zix. You kind of gotta play super aggressive at times. So he definitely had that aspect down, and I was glad he went with the Conqueror build. I think if he went with the Electrocutor, the Dark Harvest build, he really would have just been annihilated instantly.
Yeah, I mean, good play by the Kha'Zix. Maybe, I mean, when we'd say got caught out a little, like, to put it in perspective, Start Gaming had 7 kills that game. 5 of them were onto Kha'Zix.
That is true. I mean, he did get caught out a lot of disrespect coming in. But like I said, I'll give him a bit of slack, because I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been fed on Kha'Zix and just been like, I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna walk in their jungle and just take what I want and then die for it. But I mean, at the end of the day, his early gameplay got his team ahead enough to win the game, and that's ultimately what matters. Not everyone's KDA players or whatever. So good to see them banding together to get the win, especially when I pointed out, they drafted a very similar team comp to what they wanted the previous game, where they got, flat out stopped in their tracks. And this game, picking a similar comp and then actually executing on that this time. So, but yeah, good on them to see. I think that's all I've got for this one. A pretty straightforward game coming out from the side of X's clan. From start to finish, just were pretty much in control the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, let's see like where it went wrong for Start Gaming. I'm gonna I think a lot of it was that the plays that they were making just weren't resulting in like they weren't resulting in I guess like I mean they were resulting in like summoners.
But
Like
they didn't capitalize
they
on the
weren't
wall.
capitalizing on
Yeah.
the advantages that they made.
Yeah, I mean they had agency with their champions to make progressive plays, and they kind of didn't. I mean, I obviously talked in draft about how you can play reactively as Shen, and that works, but you still need to play somewhat proactively with it. And I felt like we never saw the Shen really look for an aggressive ulti onto like the Amumu looking for a play bot was something I was expecting to see, and we didn't end up seeing something like that. And all Shen ults were pretty much defensive this game. So, um, if they're looking for this Shen again in the next game, I really want to see aggressive plays coming out.
I mean, did like the Channel do anything that game? Because there's that one where we
No.
went out to Syndra. There's that one where
Yeah,
I
no,
can't think of any
I
high
can't think
impact
of any
channel
other than
at
that one.
all.
So, it really comes down to the Shen kind of just felt outclassed by champion picks. So yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if maybe Start Gaming puts some priority back on the set. That was really good for them. Maybe put some priority on you know, I really can't think of anything else. Like I think it was just a bit of not capitalizing on certain things. Like they got the flash so early on that Viego, and Zolo Bomber kind of faltered after getting double crabbed. Just kind of didn't do anything with that lead he could have potentially gotten top lane. So maybe looking to capitalize more on stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see. We should probably head to break as we go into game 3 here. Unless you have anything more to say, Daydream.
No, I mean I think that's enough. I can throw to a break right now. Q. Boom, I've done it. I've thrown to a break. No, but in all seriousness, it is 1-1. We are going to game 3. We will catch you back on the flip side for the draft, and we will see you in a bit.
Adios.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed far, reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold in the fight.
Moving too fast, life moving in slow mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, body do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies, with my heart on my sleeve. You force you a block to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah, shutting it down. Been in the ground and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing, go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go, 내게 더운 날로 모든 배 빨리 달려. 넌 못 따라와. True damage we do it. True damage 보여줄게. 뭐든 쉽게. 이기든 지든 my crew make the beat. No one could stop us. They'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. 'Cause not the way we're weak, but we
Wow.
Hello.
Welcome back to League of Legends, Legends Amateur Series, Legends League, League Legends. Why do
League
we-
of leg of legions
Why did we make our league called Legends if we're playing League of Legends?
because
Seems like
we're
a
all
bit of an
legends.
oversight to.
Uh,
Okay, I'll give you that.
No, I mean it used to be Legend League Amateur Series.
Well, that has league in it. That doesn't solve the problem.
All right. Anyway, that was back when we were called LAS, and then we rebranded to Legends, and now it's LAS. Anyways, it's confusing. But
All right.
we're back. Nonetheless, we are here, and we are ready for a game 3. Hoping that Start Gaming can maybe manage to make a comeback, or maybe Exodus crack the code in game 2, and they're gonna pull out this reverse sweep of sorts, the soft reverse sweep.
Yeah, bans
Um,
coming through. The brand ban. Oh, Start Gaming is saved. There is no more brand for this side of Hexes. And we see Exodus clan banning the same 3 champions. I mean, you were on red side last game. You banned these 3 champions. You won. Why,
Why change
break
it up?
something that already works? And the set locked in first.
And this is exactly what I said at the last game. Maybe a ban in the Shen. Maybe look for the set. Drop the ban. I mean, excuse me. I don't agree with the first picking of it because I feel like Exodus is just gonna say exactly this. Like, let's
They
just go back
run the
for
Viego
the
back.
Viego. Run the Viego back. The lane itself wasn't bad. Viego just fell behind because of other things. And this Xayah pick
Xayah
was
locked in
so
again.
great for Southern Warrior. I'm really glad to see them piloting it again. Did really well, stayed safe for the most part. I mean, a couple here and there, but that's to be expected.
Ooh, Oriana getting hovered. This could be good with the set.
If they lock this in, I would be fine to see Zolo on Amumu again. Run the risk of seeing. Oh,
Yeah,
Jarvan.
Jarvan.
There
Jarvan,
we
that
go.
champion is broken.
Okay. This is looking much better, much more concise. You've got a fighter coming in for Zolo Bomber. You've
Again.
got a very obvious selection of what you want to do. You want to wham everybody right on top of each other, and this one I don't like. I love Kha'Zix. Jarvan is a champion that has the potential to actually duel you in the 1v1.
And Jarvan has a lot more consistent gank setup too.
Yeah.
But Crimson running the Kha'Zix back again. I mean, Exodus clan running most of their draft back. I mean, you won with it, sure, but Start Gaming should generally have an idea of what Exodus want to pick in these last 2. probably a support facilitator and a mid laner that does tons and tons and tons of damage.
Yes, and seeing Morgana banned should ring alarm bells that they want Nautilus again, and they don't want to deal with the um, Morgana Black Shields. We'll see if they ban it away. If not, I would fully expect Exodus to just run their account back, go Nautilus, and the only thing they're substituting now is Brand is out, and they have to go a different mage mid laner. But
Yeah.
that we'll have to see how that goes. I would like to see start ban the Nautilus. I think
I
it
mean,
was.
if Nautilus gets banned, doesn't Exodus just R4 Recon and win?
I guess that's fair. Does you know?
Right? Neither gets banned. Cass banned. Nautilus locked in again.
Yeah, I mean, I got the impression that Honey Badger didn't play Recon just simply
That's
because
also a possibility.
it looked like they were going for Zaya, in advance maybe, and they went for the Nautilus instead. I don't know, but yeah, no, they had the opportunity to pick Zaya Recon last game, and they went for Zaya Nautilus. But regardless, we're gonna see the same bot lane coming in again for Exodus, and let's see what Start Gaming is gonna respond with. I'd like to see, yes, it wasn't necessarily Vayne, but I'd like to see something more hyper carry scaling coming in from Spectral. He's had two really good games. I don't know how I feel about the Vayne itself.
I am not a fan of this Vayne right now.
But maybe it's really good here. I mean, Vayne is as good as the player you are, and I know Spectral has pretty good micro.
Seraphine, that's what I like. That's what I like to see. This is why it's why I'm really confused on the Vayne.
Yeah, no, the Seraphine makes the Vayne. I can't justify the Vayne anymore. I mean, I tried. I'm sorry, Spectral. I tried. I mean, at this point, you could have played Misfortune. You could have played Jinx. Could have played Ziggs.
Anything that has any form of AoE damage and kind of.
And you went for the single target damage.
Went for the single target Vayne. This isn't TFT. You cannot buy Runon's Hurricane on Vayne and apply the W passive, folks. We see the Syndra locked in, and
yes,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we saw from Exodus, just with a Syndra instead of a Brand.
But you have to consider, how much does that Syndra versus Brand make a difference? I think it might be a little more than, you might see. Because Syndra can't zone the team off without her being there. Brand can press R and leave. And the R is going to bounce throughout the entire team. Hex has to be a lot more vulnerable to do that, have that same effect.
Something on the opposite side, though, is that Syndra has much better gank potential or gank setup for this Kha'Zix. Unlike the Brand, I feel like Syndra stun is a lot easier to hit than Brand stun. Brand stun is like this thin missile, whereas I feel like Syndra stun usually has a bit of give to it.
They didn't go for it with Syndra and Zao. Why did they go for Syndra Kha'Zix?
Theoretical sense.
In the theoretical sense, I fully agree with you, but curious to see if that's how it'll actually play out.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, you are definitely right. Syndra does not offer the same zoning potential that the Brand did, or the backline damage potential that Syndra did. Same with the Vayne, you've got a single target focus right there, which 9 times out of 10 should end up being this Vayne. And I mean, again, with this Vayne pick, I hate to harp on it too much, but
I don't like it.
If you wanted to pick Vayne, there's got to be a specific reason why, and the only reason coming to mind is Vayne condemn with Jarvan ult, and that's it. Other than that, normally you'd pick her for a really good lane, like Ezreal is a really good lane to pick Vayne into, or you'd pick her primarily because Exodus would have picked a tank top laner, a tank jungler, and a tank support, and then you're like, oh yeah, Vayne's the answer, but neither happened here.
Vayne is not the answer here, and honestly, Exodus Clan is playing stuff that they have shown,
that works, yeah.
An hour ago.
Yes.
None of these champions, even in the game that they lost, which the two champions that they have from that game is the Viego and the Syndra, those are the champions that were doing well. It is proven success, and I get the idea of Start Gaming's comp.
It makes perfect sense until you threw the Vayne in. Until you threw that Vayne in, it made so much sense. It was Set. It was Jarvan. It was Orianna. It was Seraphine. Layer everything on top. And he picked a single target.
What's Vayne doing to Zion Nautilus? She just dies, right?
Yeah, no, she really just dies.
You have no black shield to protect you.
You have no black shield. I mean, you could dash away and you still get hit by Nautilus. So, like, point and click. Yeah. Anyway, we've harped on it enough.
Yeah.
Well,
you still have
I
four
hope
other champions that can
yes,
AoE
I
a
hope
team fight to a
Spectral.
victory.
I hope Spectral proves me wrong. I hope I learned something today, some hidden interaction. I don't think I will, but maybe there's something I'm missing. I doubt it. Anyway, though, I fully expect this to be pretty similar to the last game, although obviously we highlighted earlier in the draft, Jarvan has a lot more gank potential, a lot more fighting potential than the Amumu did. But, I mean, again, Start Gaming coming out with a decently low damage comp comparatively to Exodus Clan. You know, they've got the Viego, the Kha'Zix, the Syndra, the Xayah. All four of those champions do massive amounts of damage if they need to. Orianna's kind of a low burst mage. Set's got his W damage, and that's about it. Jarvan's got, like, you know, slow burn type of damage with Gore Drinker, and, you know, the EQ does a lot early game but falls off like crazy. Vayne is your only damage, and as we talked about enough, it doesn't fit here. So, I'm not sure how to feel. Zion Nautilus should have the priority. Syndra should have the priority. Viego should have the priority. I'm half expecting Kha'Zix to run over the map again. It's really up to Zolo Bomber to find these plays in these lanes. And crucially, the only lane with additional CC setup really is this top lane. And, you know, we've seen him go up there a bit, but it hasn't really worked out for him too much. Orianna doesn't provide any CC until level 6. Seraphine, you know, root is decently hard to hit. And Vayne Condemn is really just a situational move. So, you know, where do you really want to go? Granted, you're going to end up having a plethora of lanes to choose from. All three of these lanes should be shoving in, but it's really what does your team assist you with in terms of getting that gank to work out. I am curious how it's going to go. I think it's really up to Zolo to facilitate this early game and get one of these members obscenely fed. I really worry otherwise if he can't do that. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll prove us wrong. I hope they prove us wrong. I do like to be proved wrong when I'm talking about draft stuff. Same with this Vayne thing, but we'll have to wait and see. Should be an interesting game 3 for sure. Have to see if Start Gaming can bring back their magic from game 1, or if Exodus will pull out the reverse sweep, win 2 in a row, whatever you want to call it.
Right. I'll send it to break right now. Pew, burn break. Nah, still doesn't work like that. Game 3, Start Gaming versus Exodus Clan. You know, this is, you know, pretty hype series. You know, both teams going back and forth. I hope to see that same level of close gameplay on the Rift, and we will see you on the other side.
Perfect face.
Summoner's Rift. I would have loved if we could make this a best of 5 or a best. Nah, who am I kidding? I want to go to bed. But we are on the Rift. Start Gaming versus Exodus Clan. You know, both teams 1-1, like I said. And oh, we're gonna get the invade.
Oh God,
The
here we go.
Exodus Clan walking in. They have the Nautilus. They have the hook. Are we gonna see some gameplay? Hey, it's Matt on the Seraphine, a very juicy target.
I'm not a
There's
fan
no
of
way
this
they don't.
situation there.
There's no way they don't go for it, right?
They haven't seen her yet. They don't know she's there.
They don't know,
literally didn't
and
see
they're
it.
backing up.
They're backing off.
I want some
Okay.
content, bro.
Where's the content? They're slacking.
Uh,
All right. Well, at least they picked the safer option. I guess that's something.
it's
Um,
probably like the best macro decision, sure, but
I talked a bit about it in the break when nobody on the chat could hear, but I was disagreeing with the Keystone selection, the rune selection out of Crimson VKC this game. I think Electrocute and Eclipse would have been a lot better this game, or even a Dark Harvest Dustblade game is, plausible here. But instead, he is going to go back with this Conqueror Kha'Zix into the set and the Jarvan, I guess, looking to skirmish a lot more. But, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as the old phrase goes.
ooh, level 2 gank coming in, possibly from Zolo Bomber. That is what Jarvan the Fourth is known to do. Seen this Viego top 3 games in a row, but Jarvan going in. EQ does get the knockup. Will the flash be forced? Hi, awesome. Is only level 1, and Hex can just walk away.
Yeah, and that is something I'm surprised about, that Hex did go Electrocute into this game, because it really would have been beneficial to go Phase Rush this game, just because, you really can just Q W auto attack and run away from a Jarvan gank. Obviously, High Awesome didn't have anything to help facilitate the Jarvan. Like I was saying at the end of the draft, it's really down to Jarvan to make all these ganks happen. So the Electrocute isn't bad, but Phase Rush would have been cool to see. But
I mean,
got him out
I
anyway.
guess
So
they're relying on Hex to do a bunch of damage because that's all he's really been doing in the past 2
yeah,
games.
true.
Seems that Start Gaming hasn't been able to fully punish him, for playing the way he does, so he's able to take these aggressive keystones like the Dark Harvest and the Electrocute.
Yeah, you're gonna see some pretty aggressive stuff, though. I think I fully expect there to be a fight around this scuttle. No.
Yes.
All right, that's bizarre. I'm sorry, that's a little bizarre. Viego was on a reset timer, Syndra was on a reset timer, and Zolo Bomber opted out of the fight against the Kha'Zix.
I think Zolo Bomber a little shaken after what happened the previous 2 games, getting.
He says, "I want one scuttle crab, damn it! No double crabbing." So
Yeah, but unable to read the situation. There is no vision for the side of Start Gaming here. Speaking of vision, there's no vision. That's a flash forward onto High Awesome. Forces the Orianna flash. Solo Bomber here for the cameo. Meanwhile, Vayne gets hooked by Honey Badger. Condemn away, but this Vayne is ticking. Won't go down, but that is a positive trade for the side of Exodus Clan.
let me see another trade in the top lane. Everyone wants to fight. And Kha'Zix is currently invading the Jarvan on the Raptor camp too. Oh goodness.
Oh, the TP coming down onto the flag from High Awesome to Orianna. Looks like, meanwhile, in the top lane, we see some fights, but Crimson is getting caught again. The EQ doesn't come through. There's no stun.
Oh.
First blood goes to the Seraphine, though. Zolo Bomber looking for more trade onto Hexes, but you have to imagine that there won't be another kill coming through.
And so now you gotta wonder, is this going to be a repeat of game 1, where Crimson plays too aggressively into the red side jungle? That's 3 games in a row. Gotten too aggressive in the red side
Speaking
jungle.
of getting too aggressive, Spectral walks way too far forward, gets Nautilus hooked, and gets chunked. Not really what you want to see on your Vayne, just...
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of expected into this lane, but you would hope that Vayne's having a little bit of a better time.
Yes, you definitely would hope. I mean, it's something that she's been able to stay alive without even blowing the flash yet, but this is starting to get really worrisome for her. She's only down 3 CS. I
That
speak about
is
CS as she
true.
misses one, but you know, it's. Oh, hang on.
Ooh, Hex Slash coming through.
Okay, there is a
There.
ward in that bush,
Yeah,
so
there
they
is a ward
spotted
in
it.
that bush. Couldn't see that over. You know, Nautilus being a bit too thick, but
He a thickie. Oh.
not Nautilus got that ocean dumpy. Anyways, in the bot lane, hey, it's Matt did get the kill, and that's kind of not what you want to see, especially because I don't think the Seraphine's gonna go like the Leandri's AP build when you already have an Orianna.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. I mean, maybe she can make some use with this red buff, but okay, I
Ooh,
thought Set was
he's
gonna
coming
miss it
through.
there.
Hex Slash coming through. They're spotted on the ward, but hey, it's Matt still gets hooked in. Condemn doesn't really do much, and it's just more of this Xayah Nautilus like winning the lane.
Yeah. I mean, this is only gonna get worse and worse. I mean, once Nautilus gets his ult, Finn and Seraphine both just can't get away from it. It's going to track them down no matter what. I really like the exhaust edition on Seraphine in this game. For this Kha'Zix, for this Viego, and crucially for this laning phase. Nautilus doesn't output much damage beyond his, you know, QE auto. So being able to exhaust the Xayah means that you might be able to either get away if you're in this situation or possibly fight. Oh!
Speaking of getting away, the shockwave comes through. Flash away from Hex, dodges the Jarvan EQ. The E doesn't stun the Jarvan though, but it looks like he will be able to get out. Solo Bomber without the ult is unable to punish, but please, Solo, just gank in the next like 5 minutes. The
Yes!
flash is
Easy.
down. Just
Easy squeezy.
please punish this.
Alright, so I didn't get a chance to flame this last
Wait,
game.
Hex
Oh,
Slash,
hang
Hex
on.
Slash
I'm not gonna get a
goes
chance.
over the wall, gets the Seraphine, but Xayah's nowhere near here. Nautilus does damage, but Nautilus does not do that much damage. And that's... I mean, you don't lose anything on the side of Exodus Clan. You know, you're putting more pressure, I guess, but... Speaking of pressure, Cheese Swiss on the set getting some damage through. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it seems like Crimson wants this dragon. Solo Bomber's over the wall, though. This might be the first team fight of the game. Ooh, it seems like Exodus Clan in the top
they're
of
just gonna secure it.
Yeah, and take it. And Snom crashing the wave, meanwhile, actually looking for a play maybe? But Cheese Swiss has
Oh.
damage. Viego E is enough to get him out. That was a dragon traded for nothing on the side of Exodus Clan. I feel like, I guess the bot lane didn't have, yeah, Zolo Bomber was level 5 as well. So there
Yeah, they
just
didn't.
weren't the spells that they needed to, you know, have a chance of turning that fight. So good timing by Exodus Clan. Dragon goes over to them.
Alright. Are you ready for the flame? The
Ooh,
Crimson
I don't
Flame?
need flame.
So I wanted to flame him for it last game, but he was having such a good early game it felt out of place. I really hate it when Kha'Zix players go Blue Smite and they're not playing Dark Harvest. I think Red Smite is just the best option if you're going anything but Dark Harvest. Blue Smite allows you to proc the Dark Harvest and just like overall, it's good on Electrocute because it gives you another spell that procs the Electrocute faster. But when you're playing the Conqueror build, like you're obviously looking to skirmish, so I really just don't understand not going Red Smite, especially into a jungler like Jarvan and just a team comp like, you know, Start Gaming has and had last game. Obviously, it worked out for him last game. We'll have to see if it works out for him again. But just my little pet peeve nitpicking there.
Definitely didn't even notice that the top 79 Kha'Zix in North America, everyone.
Yes.
You see here, but
Yes.
Haim Snom winning the
My
top
word is law.
matchup. You know, Southern Warrior and Honey Badger winning the bot matchup, and you know, Start Gaming got a kill, but you know they're just losing lanes all across the board.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the CS matchups. Cheese Swiss is down 10 CS. Zola Bomber's down almost, what is that? That's almost 30 CS. 20 CS. Oh,
Oh, the flash ult coming through. But Viego flash ults as well. I mean, it's an even trade. Crimson isn't really Crimson might look for the dive. Solo Bomber is there, but Solo Bomber can't win this 1v1, I don't think. Gets, you know, surprised by the Kha'Zix. The EQ out, thankfully still has that spell, but, you know, another good trade for this side. of Exodus Clan.
Yeah, definitely a good trade. I mean, it's just. Oh, hang on.
Ooh, Shockwave coming through. Is this gonna be a solo kill?
Oh,
Oh,
oh my
that
God,
was
that
some
flash.
spicy gameplay. Huge outplay by High Awesome, returning the favor onto Hexes. Well,
He's
yeah, this control ward seems like it'll just go down. There's so much pressure that the Xayah Nautilus has in this lane.
yeah. I mean, this mid lane has. Oh my.
Ooh, we see the fight coming through. Condemn though. Could this be the turn? The Seraphine ult charms too. Vayne ult popped exhaust onto the Xayah. He is not going to be able to trade. The ulti comes through. Is the root going
This
to
is good
finish
for
the
Vayne.
Seraphine? That's good. Vayne gets a kill though, and Solo Bomber is here. That is going to be a 2-for-1 for the side of Start Gaming. And very good play, especially from Hey It's Matt Seraphine ult. That stalled the Xayah long enough that Vayne was able to pump out the DPS to make that trade a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Seraphine ult. Barely hitting the Xayah there. I really thought it was gonna miss for a second. Hang on.
Oh, Crimson going in, but Crimson is 2 levels down. I don't even think he wins that.
You know, I don't think he is, but it's more the threat of Hayam Snom coming over and ruining the 1v1. But
Yeah,
looks
that
like
definitely makes sense.
he's just gonna place his Herald and leave again. Interestingly enough. I'm really quite confused about this play. He's done it 2 times in a row. He's not getting anything for his top laner. It's like solely for himself. I mean, I respect it. As a fellow Kha'Zix player, I completely respect it. But when you're playing competitive, you really do want to share that plate that you get from the, the first Herald.
You see Hayam Snom getting another trade. I mean, Crimson just gonna recall. I feel like T-Swiss never walks to the point where maybe T-Swiss wants this. Never mind. T-Swiss is level 10. T-Swiss wants to get some revenge on Hayam Snom. Ooh, Solo Bomber is behind Hexes actually. They saw him on the ward. Crimson not really getting anything from this gank. And Syndra, you see in the minimap, the flash was forced, but T-Swiss actually going in for the 1v2. The ZW was popped the shield. The ult is not going to be enough flash away from Crimson, and that is going to be the kill. T-Swiss getting a bit over ambitious, but it looks like it might be a trade of the dragon.
Yeah, that was definitely really close on the top side. Cheese was looking like he was about to win that 2v1 and just barely missing out on a bit of damage. Crucially, while that fight was happening, Zola Bomber, you pointed it out quickly, did get on the hexes and actually blew his flash. So Syndra is down the flash. So once again, Zola Bomber, please gank this mid lane. There is no flash on the Syndra. This is definitely prime time to get over there.
He didn't capitalize last time, but luckily for him, he's been given another opportunity to kill this Syndra. Hex, definitely like the key player to watch on Exodus Clan, has been performing the best on this team. So if you shut him down, it definitely hurts their chances of winning.
Yeah, and crucially, Crimson is just taking Zola Bomber's blue side again. And, he's going to get over there and his Christmas is ruined. No presents for him. So he's definitely going to be feeling the burn on this. Might even make a rash play somewhere. I really want him to look at this mid lane. I mean, Syndra's TPing in, no flash.
Okay, we see the on my way bank.
He's on his way.
Oh, we're saved. We're saved.
We'll have to wait and see how saved we are.
Hexes walk back to tower for a bit.
Oh, they saw him.
They saw him. We're not saved. Maybe we will see this gank happen at some point.
Jarvan has EQ ult. This is definitely playable. Oh, wait. Oh my. So close. Okay. That's going to be the end of that play.
Yeah, we see T-Swiss getting traded on. Gets a good W though, but Hayam Snom just wins the extended fight. But Solo Bomber is here. Crimson is recalling. If T-Swiss can survive this, T-Swiss goes down. And suddenly now Hayam Snom is set. He's going to have the W, but it's not enough. Solo Bomber with the burst. Crimson looking to make it a 2-for-1, but it looks like he's just too far away.
Very good.
Not in the right spot.
I honestly thought Hayam Snom was going to turn that into a 2v1. or at least delay until Crimson. So good on Zolo to layer that burst damage so that the Haymaker couldn't come out from Hayam Snom on the set. But kind of sucks that Cheese did end up going down to Hayam Snom, so the play is only a 1-for-1. And Cheese Swiss is actually going to lose a lot of golden XP into the tower as well, as that wave's going to bounce straight back towards the Viego.
Yep, you see Crimson VKC going on the Gromp, but... Ooh, this might be a fight. Double Bomber's only level 9. EQ, I think, should be coming up soon. Jump in. But they want the 2v2, another missed Shockwave, and Zolo Bomber must be going down. The flash in the heal actually is enough. Spectral pops the ult, but can Spectral do anything here? You're gonna get Vayne spotted. Decides to walk away. Probably the right move there.
I think that was 5 points on the Vayne spotting scale. Oh, we see another trade in the top side. Oh my goodness.
This is going to be T-Swiss favored. The W goes wide, and now Hayam Snom forces the flash away. You have to imagine that unless this set W goes through, this is going to be Viego favored every time.
Yeah, definitely. And this is kind of a BM purchase by Spectral. Straight into the wit's end here, you know, when there's next to no magic damage.
He did this game 1 on the Ashe, and I didn't point it out because I couldn't find a place to point it out.
Mm-hmm.
He went wit's end when the only AP is Syndra. You can just go shield bow.
Yeah,
you can just go shield bow, and you're gonna have a better chance against Syndra. Like, it's kind of unfortunate, you know, getting outplayed by Boris.
Blade of the Ruin King would honestly be a better, like, if you want to really hold off on shield bow, you could go Blade of the Ruin King first. Like, worst comes to worst here, but I mean, shield bow first. It's better than what's end. It's more my point, but shield bow is just the better option 9,000 times out of, you know, 10,000. But anyways.
While we were flaming the what's end purchase, Hayam Snom did manage to pick up the first turret again. I mean, at what point do you just not give over the Viego? I think it should have been two games ago, but...
I mean, after game 1, he didn't have the strongest of showings. He had one good fight. That makes sense. For last game, maybe. I mean, it obviously was such a comfort pick for them that after faltering, they still went for it. And it's such a strong pick. And it's obvious that, you know, no one on Stark Gaming wants or has the priority for it because they didn't go for it in any of their 3 games. They had first pick 2 games in a row. So, I mean, yeah, that's the point where you would probably go for...
Nautilus on the blast cone. We're gonna see some fighting happen. Seems like Start Gaming is unaware. Vayne is way too far forward, gets hooked up, gets ulted. The ults come through though. Maybe Start Gaming can turn something. The TP from Set is late though, and it looks like Exodus Clan is just gonna win the Set ult. Not enough. It's not gonna peel the Seraphine, it's not gonna peel the Orianna. And Vayne gets caught, and the fight just becomes doomed.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean,
that is
G-Swiss
triple kill for the Viego.
G-Swiss was too late on the teleport. I mean, Jarvan never got a chance to ult. Obviously, the cooldown is down, but you know, I was watching him waiting for it. He got killed mid-animation. They got a really good start to that fight. They got a really good Seraphine ult into the Orianna ult, and I thought it all looked good, but it really came down to what we were talking about in draft, which is that they have all this AoE setup, and they picked a single target marksman to facilitate that, which didn't make enough sense. And you know, here we are seeing it in practice getting annihilated for the exact reason we said it would.
Oh, going for the 1v1 onto the Xayah. The flash early? Ooh, that was so close. Wait, Xayah, like, if Xayah flashes, like, maybe 1 inch to, like, a little lower, I think, is the angle needs to be done. That would have been a Xayah win. And, like, when the flash was that close, like, you really just had to say unlucky for that play. Southern Warrior definitely doing, like, the best he could there. And
yeah, I mean, getting 1v1 by a Vayne feels pretty normal at this point if you're in such a long lane like that. But yeah, no, that was
close to a really good outplay, and unfortunate that it didn't come through, but I do respect the attempt from Southern Warrior.
Definitely. I mean, I also respect the the look on Spectral. I mean, especially with your team, you know, it definitely feels bad right now. Looking for that to try to get back in the game, a good facilitate on his part to try to look for things proactively here. So, have to wait and see if he can continue. Again, you know, maybe there's something he can get done and, you know, a side lane, something. I mean, I really think him grouping with the team is a bad play, though.
Honey Badger hooks the turret, was spotted out by Start Gaming, so Hi Awesome, you know, was fully aware of the play and was able to play around it. We're gonna see a fight in the mid lane though. You have to assume that Start Gaming wants to hit their combo onto this Viego, because Viego absolutely tore through the fight. You know, Set wasn't able to CC him. It was all just kind of duped.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, the Sviego's already got 2 items completed, and a lot of the damage he's going to be receiving is hopefully from this Vayne. He does have the Ninja Tabbies. Obviously, Vayne has true damage, but, you know, he is susceptibly tanky, and even if they go on him, I think the return burst from anyone nearby might be enough for him to start resetting. Like, oh, hang on.
The fight goes in, the shockwave dodge out by the Zaya, but it does hit the Viego. Spectral is able to get the hit, that's the shutdown, and the Seraphine ult. Crimson is in the back, but what can Crimson do? Just gets exhausted, maybe looking to ult flash away? Is that going to be enough? Spectral might be able to hunt him down. Oh, insanely close. Huge stun by Hexes, but I don't think it results in a kill. In fact, he might have stepped too far forward. Zolo Bomber, though, doesn't drop the flag when he drops the Q, so that's not
Oh,
gonna
the
be a kill.
Baron!
Oh, Baron is so free.
Baron
it's so
is
free
so
right
free.
here. It's so free.
No,
No,
no, not the mid wave.
It's doomed, bro. You have Vayne and J4 flag, and you're going for mid turrets. Yeah, they can only reset now. They took too much time. They had that split-second decision-making window. And meanwhile, Crimson stops the recall. T-Swiss not having a fun time. T-Swiss actually might go down. X's clan is up. Yeah, Seraphine is enough. Crimson, though, forces the flash. Good play out of him.
Okay, so this is the second game in a row Crimson has gone.
Oh,
wait,
the
hang on.
shockwave! That might be... No, that's not going to be enough. The Syndra EQ is there.
This is the second game in a row Crimson has gone Randuin's Omen on Kha'Zix. In the first game, it was kind of justified because he went at 4th item. This game, he's gone at 2nd, and I really just can't with this. I don't think it's good here. I mean, I think at this point, you should have picked a different champion. I'm sorry, I'm being too harsh, but like, just, if you're gonna build Randuin's Omen 2nd on this build, like, you should have just picked a different champion that could have done the same thing but better. Anyways, moving on from that, not a fan of the itemization, but a really good fight coming out from Start Gaming when it really started to look like all was lost and the tempo was going to start to swing out of control. You know, they're still down 3k gold, so we got to wait and see if, you know, they can keep finding these fights like that, but a really good pick on a high on Snom and Southern Warrior, and they just went from there. And another one here.
In, gets
Oh
knocked
my.
off, a huge Jarvan ult, but where's the follow-up? Oh, the Seraphine ult gets Zanya's. Honey Badger might go down. Shockwave's coming out too late. And nobody followed up on Zolo Bomber.
Oh,
and again, Hayam Snom TPs before T-Swiss. So T-Swiss gets there, the fight's already over. This is the second fight now that this has happened. The set W isn't enough. Ult gets cancelled, you know, by the death of the set, and
Yeah,
such a good ult by Zolo Bomber, and the team just wasn't.
Yeah, Zolo found.
Just didn't really do anything there.
They really just weren't in position. I mean, like, the ball had just been moved onto. It was on Zolo, and then High Awesome moved it to get a chunk damage on somebody else. And then the cooldown wasn't up for it. And then Hayat's Matt just didn't have the angle to hit the Seraphine ult until later. And by that point, like, Hexes had already used stopwatch on it. And I mean, Zolo was dead at that point, and Hayam Snom just got the resets from there. And it looked like Spectral might have been able to make something happen, but just got annihilated by this Syndra afterwards.
Yeah, I want to see T-Swiss TPing earlier.
So much earlier, yeah. I mean,
or at least like cancel the Viego TP. I don't know if it's possible. Can Viego ETP? Possibly. But I mean, in that case, like, at least be closer because, you know, Set really is the only champion that can, like, sort of hold this Viego down, you know, make
Yeah.
his job of resetting, like, a little harder. And if he is not there,
Well, I mean,
if
less
he's not
even
there,
just
then
yeah,
can't
less
do
even
anything.
just interrupting the TP, but more just go. Like, just go with him, follow him. Like, you need to be there so much sooner. You cannot hesitate on this. Okay. Zolo just walked through everything
Yeah,
and left.
that
Um,
was interesting. That
That
was,
felt-
in fact, a moment of League of Legends that I did watch.
that felt very illegal.
Really all I can say about it.
That crucially does mean Nautilus ult is down. Maybe that's the trick. You just have to walk into them and get out to blow important cooldowns. Zola doesn't blow anything on his part, neither does his team. And now you've got 4 ults to 5, so maybe with this Seraphine ult, I mean, Zola's looking on this Jarvan.
Ooh, will it be killed? Kha'Zix,
They
meanwhile.
know where he
know
is.
he's there.
Oh.
He's gonna W and leave. He got suspicious. Good intuition by him.
Yeah, definitely some good intuition, but I'm really happy to see them moving around as a unit. I mean, the only way they can win is as a unit. That's what they drafted.
Bit of a team fight comp from them.
Oh,
We
hang
see
on.
pick maybe? Nah, Heimsam
Nah.
declines the fight. Realizes that his team might not be in position and could, you know, throw the Baron there, so doesn't want to risk it.
This is definitely an ARAM we've got going on. You can just tell. Start Gaming want. Yep,
Oh.
there it is.
Speaking of wanting it, the Zaya has to flash out of the Jarvan ult, but the Seraphine ult hits! This is huge! Open up, Spectral going in, but Hayam Stom may be looking to turn this, but there's still the shockwave! Hayam Stom goes down, Spectral flashes away from the Syndra EQ. I don't know if he needed to do that, but I feel like that's a better safe than sorry moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge play by Start Gaming. They have decided to, in fact, start gaming here.
Baron!
It's so free! So free doesn't walk to the Baron and take it. There's no way, right?
They're so
There's
scared
no
of
way.
this Kha'Zix. They're so scared of this Kha'Zix.
They're just gonna go for mid inner. You don't even have any side lanes yet. Oh no.
Alright, so I can finally start talking about this and not jinx myself. Crimson has now gotten to the point where I don't feel worried that he's going to surpass my record. I still hold the record in all of Legends, having the most kills in a game, 28 on stream, with 28 on Kha'Zix, and it's lovely. And I'm so glad that he's not breaking it today. So anyway, besides the point.
Did you just? Okay, whatever.
Yes, I just self-plugged my own record. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Ravens fan.
Listen, I'm making my own content, okay? My
That's
cat
fair.
agrees. But yeah, no, Start Gaming's, like you said, they started gaming. They're finding these fights. They're really forcing it, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Zolo Bomber jumping a screen and a half away. It seems to be working.
Yeah, like when the team is like following up on Solo Bomber's engages, it feels a lot better for them. It's like honestly.
Yeah, and Southern Warrior doesn't have flash now, so this engage goes so much better. Hex's doesn't have flash. Zanya's is down, but not for much longer. Hayam Snom doesn't have flash. The only one, that could potentially cause a problem in these team fights. Oh, as we see, Chi-Swiss is caught.
Oh no, this is not good. Flash is away. Crucially not flashing towards his team, but that is a very strong set. He is surviving for a while. He gets the ult off, and suddenly Crimson is caught. The GA goes down, but you have to imagine this Kha'Zix is going to go down. The nice EQ by Soul Bomber.
Go Baron!
Come on. Come on. I think they're going to go for Dragon. I think they're scared of the Cloud Soul. It's better than pushing mid. Oh, but their fight might still break through. I mean, the ults are down for a little bit, but they do have Jarvan ult still. Dragon goes down. Yeah, Crimson's dead for another 30 seconds.
Baron.
I think they're going to look for the fight, though. Hex is crucially on the wrong side of this wall, gets ulted, has no flash. He looks like he's going to go down.
Very good, Baron!
There
it is!
Oh, they're
Okay.
they're walking.
Okay.
Oh.
Alright,
We're saved. We're saved,
We're
Ravens
saved.
fan.
We're saved. Alright, they want to fight though. We see pings coming down from the side of Exodus Clan. They really want to fight this.
I mean,
See,
Crimson's up. I don't think there's a chance for a
I
steal,
don't-
though. He's too far
yeah,
away.
no, I saw so many pings that Syndra had teleport, but nobody's there in time, so they're gonna... Everything dissuades. We saw the Baron. And again, like, it's just this overforce, like, is working. I mean, granted, that time, I guess Cheese Swiss was just, like, caught out and stayed alive for so long. And I'm gonna blame it on the Randuin's Omen. I'm gonna blame it on this Kha'Zix build.
You're gonna blame it on the
Randuin's
Randuin's Omen?
Randuin's Omen and GA, where's the damage? Why are you
That
picking
is
Kha'Zix
true.
at this point?
You
Like-
do not have damage on that Kha'Zix build. Like,
He is building like he's playing Lee Sin. That's what he's building like. It doesn't make much sense to me. So, I mean, like, he couldn't kill the Set. Set turns the fight around, get the Oreo, and he's dead. So, I mean, I'm really just, I'm harping on it. I really don't like this Kha'Zix. But here we go. I want to see Zolo Bomber jump a screen and a half away again with Ori Ball on and just layer everything, and you know, they just seem to be winning like that. I wouldn't even put Cheese Swiss in the bot lane. I would just group as 5.
you really want them to commit to the NA ram? I mean, given the fact
worked.
that T-Swiss's TPs are a little slow, I would be inclined to agree with you.
That's really what it comes down to, and I mean, it's worked. It's worked 3 times at this point. This overchase mentality of just go on them has worked 3 times. But they are gonna take these outers first, which I definitely agree with.
Yeah,
that bot lane
finally
tower had been
getting some of that like free gold. TP from Viego. I mean, the rest of the team isn't there. That's still a 2v4. I don't know if
They're
Start Gaming knows this
collapsing
though.
on
They're collapsing
Set.
on T-Swiss. But like, once they collapse, oh, wait, they're backing out. The side of Start Gaming is backing out. Now they see that there's a collapse onto the bot lane. Will they try and force onto this Viego and the
Southern
Set?
Warriors.
And
like,
will
2
Southern
HP.
Warrior, the ult is good to dodge away and steps away from. Oh my god, T-Swiss gets the kill. Southern Warrior crucially does not go down, but when you're 1-for-1ing and your team is getting so much of a play topside, it's definitely worth it.
I think I missed a memo in Randuin's Omen, because Vayne also has Randuin's Omen right now. I haven't seen this item built this much in like 4 seasons, but I guess here we are. Anyways, though, Set got the return kill onto the Nautilus, and you know, Zolo Bomber pulling the trigger again, despite last game's, you know, poor performance overall as a team. He did a very good job with his Amumu ults. Zolo has a really, really good impactful ults this series, which has really like facilitated Start Gaming to be able to do stuff. So props to him for that. And they get this top inhib with, you know, Dragon coming up in a minute. That's huge. I am Snom burn teleport just to stop them pushing top lane, which means he's not going to have it up. It means Hex is asked to answer the super minion push that's starting the top side. And it's up to him now to see if he can get on-time teleports or if it's going to be a problem. But they're actually letting it push. They're all running towards the dragon right now. And that super minion wave is starting to push into the top side.
So today I learned that if you lock Vayne in an AoE comp, if your team just hits everything on everyone,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that you're playing Vayne. I mean,
no,
props to
because
Spectral.
I guess it's literally just they're CC'd or dead by that point, so you just get the free hit.
Yeah.
But
So-
I still would have preferred something else. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, it's like, would you have preferred like a bad Jinx over a good Vayne? I don't think so. If like Spectral on Vayne can like play these fights well enough that the single target disadvantage isn't like enough of a factor, then I think like, you know, proving us wrong with the Vayne. You see third Cloud Dragon, unless it's stolen away? Is the steal coming through? No, it goes down to Spectral of all people. Ravensman, your phone is in fact going off.
I'm so sorry.
Well, now that
Right
that's
next to the
done,
microphone.
Spectral gets the kill onto Kha'Zix, and suddenly Start Gaming is in a very, very, very good spot.
I'm so sorry.
Alright, Ravens fan is very trolling me right now, but as
My,
we get back onto track,
Okay, there we go.
you see Spectral, there's now 3 Cloud Dragons each side, and Start Gaming weren't getting any Cloud Dragons, so I never felt the need to bring this up. Cloud Dragon's really good on this Start Gaming
Oh
comp.
my god. I'm
You
gonna kill
see,
my girlfriend. Hold on. Okay.
that's illegal, don't do that. Anyways,
Okay, I won't kill her.
as I was trying to say, the Jarvan has the ult, the Orianna has the ult, the Seraphine has the ult, and Cloud Dragon reduces all 3 of those cooldowns. So it is really good for the side of Start Gaming to get these dragons, and they were doing fine without them. Then, like, now that they have them, it becomes even harder for this side of Exodus Clan to, play around the window when these ults are down.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm officially back now. I definitely agree with you on the point of the Cloud Dragons just allowing Dark Gaming to look exactly for what they've been looking for this entire game. They're Hey, it's Matt obviously needs some gold. Force feeding the Gromp to him and then allowing him to take an entire wave.
I want to see what this recall gets, because that Bandle Glass Mirror, could it be the I mean, if it was Putrefier, wouldn't he go Oblivion Orb first? Well,
I guess not.
I guess not.
Alright, Kha'Zix's bot. Surely this means free Baron, right? Surely.
Yeah. Wait, why is Kha'Zix bot?
I don't know.
Whatever. It seems that Baron is going to not be started up, actually. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Set isn't in position and they don't know where the rest of Exodus
Nope,
Clan
they're starting it now.
Now they're starting it now. Actually,
And Set's
Kha'Zix stopped, because they started because they saw Kha'Zix stop and take that control ward. Seems like Exodus Clan wants to fight for this. Will Crimson get there in time? Sun goes down. I don't think so.
He
Steal
did,
comes
but
through. He got there at the last second, but the steal didn't come through. And now he goes down, and now you
that
have
should just
Baron.
be game.
That should be game, right?
The only thing they blew is Oriole, and it's coming up very quickly because of these Cloud Dragons. They've still got Seraphine ult, they still got Jarvan ult, they still got Set ult. I mean, this really should just be a free inhib here and then a free inhib in the bot side. I mean, Zola Bomber can just tank it, and so can G-Swiss, but they might just go for the Nexus Towers.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kha'Zix was bot, and then died without forcing any. So I feel like it's the worst of both worlds there. And then your team just loses the game.
Yep.
Spectral, completely untouched. And look, the ults are coming out
Seraphine
now.
triple kill!
It looks like kind of possible, but that's just because Start Gaming didn't press the R button.
And there it is. That really felt like it should have... Based off the early game, the momentum coming from game 2, and based the exact same comp that worked the previous game, I thought Exodus was probably going to end up taking this. Props to Start Gaming for proving me wrong. I mean, they put together, as I said, and you pointed out, ease of execution. This comp, you threw a Vayne in there when it really didn't fit, and it still worked because it was just that easy to make it, cooperate. So,
I said this about game 2. I don't think Exodus Clan won game 2 because they outdrafted Start Gaming. I think they outplayed Start Gaming, but I don't think they outdrafted them. So I look at these drafts, and yes, it was a better draft than game 1. Frankly, I think most drafts are better than Exodus Clan's game 1 draft. Like, you could probably randomize champions and get about an equal result, but that's beside the point. I feel like Start Gaming this entire series has been sort of learning and adapting, and they're making less of the same mistakes. Granted, they still, aren't going up to their full potential. I still want to see Zolo Bomber actually punish flashes, and I want to see G-Swiss TP on time, ever.
yeah.
But besides that, especially High Awesome, he missed a few shockwaves, but sort of refocused, was able to make those changes. On the other side, Exodus Clan sort of just did the same thing all 3 games. And it worked game 2, good for them, but like I don't know. The Kazakhs run back game 3. I feel like they were gifted a win on the Kazakhs. Like, yes, Kazakhs had
Yeah,
a lot of impact, but when you are like 5 of your 17 sets, like maybe you switch it up. Maybe like you play around the Viego, who also did, you know, really well. He got a triple kill in the early fights. If you have a team that can support a Viego there, it becomes so much harder for Start Gaming. But
exactly.
going back
And
to what works did not work apparently this time, and and
yeah, I
comes
mean
the 2-1 for
that's
Start Gaming. I mean,
yeah.
my power
I'm.
rankings are right. I put that there, bro.
Did you
Me.
actually?
I did. I changed it like right before I released the doc. I had it as Exodus Clan 2. Well, I didn't change it right before. I changed it like the night before. Because there's a bit of an anecdote, but last night I was playing some ranked flex with Cowstep Jr. and his Start Gaming team. And I was inspired by their gameplay. And I was like,
Inspired, you
I
said.
have faith in the upset, and my faith was rewarded.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, this is still early season, so I mean, wins and losses here and there definitely mean difference, different things. But good on Start Gaming to not fall too far behind in the standings, coming out and going into 1-1 and bringing Exodus down to 1-1 as well. Um, Keeps them. Obviously, we're so far away from any thoughts on playoffs, anything similar to that. But yeah, I mean, it was good for them to see. Good to see them come out and pull off this easy execute combo, especially after a frustrating game too. So yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say. They played their comp really well, and yeah.
Oh, I mean, I feel like if you're Exodus Clan looking, after this loss, you have to. I want to see them during practice next week. Try some new things. Like, I think that there are like definitely a lot of strengths that this team has. Strong points. You know, even in like Southern Warrior played honestly pretty decently well.
Yeah,
There's very close.
Hexes as well.
There's a very close 1v1 in the bot lane. I don't think that like changes the outcome of the game if it goes to the way of the Zaya, but I think I think that, there's definitely like a lot of potential on this team. I feel like they just aren't playing together enough. They're just like there are more mistakes being made because Start Gaming, they also made some mistakes. Neither team is like without fault here, but the team that makes less mistakes is most likely going to win the game unless you're vein spotted at like 40 minutes when death timers are like, that long.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with Heim, Snom, Southern Warrior, Hexes. All three of them played really well. Honey Badger played really well in game 2 and 3, in my opinion as well. I don't think the Senna suited him, but obviously there's not much to say about Crimson because he's obviously an E-sub. So obviously you're
Yeah,
saying like they need to play more together, but there's
that is true. I did
obviously
forget about that.
this innate probably haven't practiced any with him. Um, but it's at the end of the day, very happy with how those players played in those games. I think Start Gaming looked really good in both of their wins. They played around their team, their win condition um, games, and I think Exodus Clan in their second game played really well as well. They got rolling. They did the skirmishes like they were supposed to, and in this game they fell just a little short on that. So.
All right. Well, if you have nothing else to say, I will toss it over to I think the end of the stream, right? We don't have anything else going on. Dude, those eyes are so creepy on your VTuber. Every time I see it, I get chills.
They're beautiful. They're gorgeous for. Yes,
Fair enough.
exactly.
No, I mean, well played by Start Gaming. They were the David in this David and Goliath scenario, and they managed to pull out the win.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say you're either muted or you're all eyes apparently. No mouth. Yes.
Well,
Alright.
basically, if you missed it, For Daddy said thank you for coming to the stream. We will see you guys tomorrow, I believe, for LRS Premade, right?
Tomorrow night, yes. I play in that league and don't even know who's being streamed about that. Hang on. The power of magic shows Moon Crew versus Rising Tide Tsunami. So make sure to tune in for that. Also, yes, I'm going to kill my girlfriend apparently. Clean my room.
Oh my god, you can't do that, Ravens man. That is, in fact, murder and illegal.
That is a joke. Right? Riot. Twitch TOS, it's a joke. I swear it's a joke. Love my girlfriend very much. Just joking. It's just a prank, bro. I will clean my room. Thank you, Mom.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die.